Listening is being a good neighbor on Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever recorded. And today we've got Clint, Busch, the dirt farmer, in the house, and the tribunal has been convened. That's right, Dr. Mattila, the Human Movie Database, Ryan Farrell, the mayor, Ryan Mueller at the kids' table. We got all three of them here. I'm your host, James Hauser, and we're talking about Werewolves Within. What a banner day, though. Tribunal is here.
Yeah, who knew?
A bonus, Clint.
Seriously. Yeah, bonus.
Come on.
Yep.
Oh, you're not on. Try again.
We got a Clint bonus today.
That's right, baby.
He was handing out ribs earlier.
Yeah, well, you guys missed it. You guys came up too soon.
We got to talk.
Too late.
Jacob Smokehouse, they are not a sponsor, but I'm shouting them out because they're that good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone in the area. They just opened up right under our studio. We have to walk past their dang window, their ordering window, to get in here.
In a good way.
I sit up there, I call races from the corner of my building, and they've got that wood fire rolling all night on Fridays.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it is the most intoxicatingly infuriating thing in the world. Is like, I smell ribs and I have none.
It's both the best thing to happen and the worst thing to happen.
I really like how you phrased that.
Yeah.
Intoxicatingly infuriating.
Yes.
That was, yeah.
It is. You can't have
Yeah.
the smell of smoke and barbecue meat
And not have some.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a bummer.
I'm already 325, guys. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? You also can't watch trash movies and not have yourselves some BMR. So welcome into Bad Movies Rule. For those of you that have joined us for the first time, we're primarily a roasting podcast, but we will give the movies that deserve it flowers for the parts that deserve it. We're going to walk through this entire thing scene by scene. We're scene by scene review. Then at the end, we're going to give it some awards. Who was the best? Who was the worst? What were our favorite things? What is the ultimate final review? Is this really a good movie? Is it a bad movie? Or is it a bad movie that rules? So stick with us. We're going to go through the vitals here, who wrote and directed and everything else. Then we're going to start in scene by scene. We're happy you're here. So, guys, this movie was directed by Josh Rubin.
What is the movie?
Well, I said Werewolves Within earlier.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes.
I was.
You think we're just going to let people fly blind? Assuming they looked at the picture when they clicked on the episode, they know we're talking about Werewolves Within.
We sat down and I was smelling the smokehouse. I was like, what movie are we talking about today?
That's forgotten everything.
I just showed up.
Intoxication.
I just showed up.
We're talking about, so this isn't the most recent movie. I think, well, was Moonfall 2021? Or was that 22?
I think it's
This is 2022, I think.
Okay, so 2021 was Werewolves Within. It's definitely one of the most recent movies we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directed by Josh Rubin, who, not a ton of familiarity with his filmography, but the thing that you probably would recognize the most, you guys ever see those old college humor videos?
Yep.
And stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
He directed almost all of those college humor videos.
Oh, wow.
I love the Batman one specifically.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
so good.
Good stuff. Movie was written by Mishan Wolf. Now, Mishan Wolf was not a screenwriter, but she is a very famous best-selling author, and this is the only screenplay she's ever written. She was married to, you guys don't know, I think it's the WTF podcast with Mark Maron,
Oh, yeah.
a comedian. They were married for like a hot minute.
She was married to Mark Maron.
She was married to Mark Maron.
Who would marry that guy?
It was a very short marriage.
I do like Mark Maron, though.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's awesome.
I mean, you go to Vegas, you get drunk,
That's right.
get it annulled the next day.
Yeah.
The movie stars Sam Richardson, Miliana Vantrub. Is that how you say it? Vantrub?
T-Mobile girl.
AT&T girl.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah.
Way off.
Very famously AT&T.
I was way off.
No
They
cell
switch around
phones were
their-
sold in this movie.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
It's weird seeing her do anything other than Lily,
Nope.
the AT&T
Yeah.
girl.
Right?
No,
You know
I'm
what I
okay with what she was doing in this one.
I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm saying it
got
was
it done.
weird.
She got it done, huh?
It was weird. Harvey Guillen is in this, who you might know from What We Do in Shadows. Anybody watch that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that show.
Guillermo.
Guillermo, yes.
But he's kind of he's been around for
Yeah, he's done a bunch of
10
stuff.
years. He pops up here and there.
He was just a coroner in the Arnold Schwarzenegger series he just did on Netflix.
Oh, on Fubar.
Fubar. Yeah. He was in that for like an episode or two.
Yep.
He's a funny guy.
Fubar, something you should watch other than this movie.
And Michaela Watkins
wow, okay.
was in this as well. One of the founding members of the Groundlings. She played Trish. So, budget of this movie was $6.5 million.
I have to imagine it made some money then.
It made nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
$900,000.
Yeah.
This
Just
is
about
the
900,000.
Ow.
This is the problem with, release to audience, Netflix type movies anymore, right? These are coming out now, and every streaming service wants to get these movies as soon as they can.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So there's that. That definitely played a part. I think the other big factor is they started shooting this about 3 weeks before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So they're still
February.
shooting when the pandemic hits.
So they're assuming theatrical release when they're doing all of this.
Right. And I got to imagine there was no theatrical release for a while, and that's probably why it didn't make any money.
The widest release was 270 theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when you factor
That's
that
like
in,
5 per state. That's pretty good stuff.
all right.
Wisconsin's a big ass state, man.
Top Gun Maverick, 4,200 theaters.
Yeah.
Werewolves Within, 270.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where it starts to get weird with the ratings here. The movie is a 6.0 on IMDb. So right at the cutoff line, really, for our show. We will go over a little bit. It's a judgment call sometimes, but it's a 6.0, which is the only other two movies that were right at 6.0 that we've done is Winners Take All, the motocross
Such
movie.
a good movie.
Okay. And The Big Hit, the Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips film
Not a good
from
movie.
1998. Total opposite.
Well, then you have Remo Williams, which was a 6.4.
The 6.4 was even above this.
Yeah.
The Wraith was one below. It's 5.9.
Yeah.
This is just ahead of The Wraith.
So was Air America for a minute.
Yeah.
Then we reviewed it.
We reviewed it.
That's right. That's right.
Got too much visibility.
All right, so you're like, okay, 60% probably around that for the audience score. It usually tracks to IMDb, but the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 80%.
This is a fun fact right here.
Yeah. Go for
With your critics score on Rotten Tomatoes being 86%.
86%.
Which this has to be the highest critically rated movie that we've ever done on the show.
Probably. I didn't check, but I got to imagine if it's not, it's in the top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
This is also the highest rated movie based on a video game of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Wow.
Per Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, so I didn't even know this was based on a video game till after I already watched it.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't see anything that reminded me of video game at all.
Me either.
Well, when it first
didn't
comes
play the
up,
game.
Yeah. I had
I
no
shouldn't
idea.
say that. It was at the very beginning. I just didn't know what game it was, but it comes up right before the credits. Ubisoft.
Yes.
Right.
I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they making movies now? Like what? But no, it's based off of a PlayStation VR game
Yep.
that they made
Back in
called
the
Werewolf Within.
from back in the 90s, kind of a whodunit
Yeah.
VR type game that was set in medieval times.
Right. Where
Nailed it.
And there's actually a card game. I've played this with students. You can call it Mafia or you can call it Werewolf, where you literally pass out
Right.
cards. One person's the werewolf, everybody else gets like villager cards or whatever.
Right.
And then they're trying to see through each round through social deduction and accusations and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Who is the werewolf in the group?
Or
Which is
like-
basically what the movie is.
Like that Hitler game.
Exactly, like Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the
Stuff.
Son of Sam game, whatever. There's
Or
so many
whatever that
variations
sus
of it.
game is that's out now.
Yeah.
Among Us.
Among
Yeah,
Us.
that's the
Yeah.
one.
That's the one.
This
That too.
that game can be really fun, or it can be just the worst, depending on who you're playing with.
Oh, you got to have the right group to play
Yeah.
Among Us.
You got to be right there.
I played Among Us randomly one time. Well, a couple of times. Once with Mel, and we're online and we wait. This thing gets started. Okay, we go through the first round. First guess, game's over. Wait again. We did it again. Same thing. I'm like, I am 27 minutes into this. I've played nothing. I have no idea what's happening. This is dumb.
That's about
Nice.
right. If there are worst ideas for video games to make movies off of,
Yeah.
dead or alive, but this is
Hey, that kind of turned out though.
it turned out okay for them, for sure. So yeah, highly rated, 86%, 80%, but only a 6 on IMDb, and that's what we're ultimately going to do here is see, at least with us, where this falls. This is not a movie I even knew existed until somebody suggested it to us in a mailbag, and so that's how it ended up on our list. We were going to do another werewolf movie. We decided last minute to pivot and change on that.
Why?
And so there is now Werewolves Within. So we stuck with the werewolf thing at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were going with the werewolf theme.
And so what we could have done is watched the Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie,
That would
Yeah.
have worked.
right? I've never seen it. There is a Jack Nicholson werewolf movie, I think, out there.
It's called Wolf.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a werewolf movie,
Yeah.
right?
It's
better
like a
options.
psychological thriller, though.
I've never
Wolf
seen
is a good.
either
Oh,
of them.
Wolf is a great movie.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Spader, Jack
I was gonna say
Nicholson.
all
Oof.
better options than
Great
the one
movie.
we.
But then we picked
Traded
this
this one
one
for. This one-
which basically the biggest star in it is the AT&T girl. No shade to anybody else that's in this movie, but I mean,
No.
did you recognize anyone? I mean, I know you know a lot of people, so maybe you're the wrong worst person to ask.
Yeah, no, don't ask me because
He knew everybody.
Yeah, you probably knew everybody.
I
Mueller, did you recognize anybody
yeah, I
besides
actually
the AT&T
recognize
girl?
the old oil guy. He was in the blacklist. He was a senator in the blacklist.
Wait, isn't he a stand-up comedian?
no,
Is it
Wayne
looks like
Duvall.
Ron
I don't
White?
know.
No, that's Wayne Duvall.
Okay, but it looks
Yes.
like Ron White.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam Richards.
Yeah, I didn't know what else he was doing, but
The main guy?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. He's a stand-up comedian. The guy that
I don't
played
know if he
the
did
park ranger?
yeah, Sam Richardson.
Or he's just a comedic
Comedy.
actor?
I don't know. I don't
right,
ever
who cares?
see. He was at that of all the people. The main actor was the one that I was least familiar with.
Yeah, so he's done a lot of voice acting stuff. I
Yes.
saw. I looked through his IMDb there. But we're going to get into it here. First thing before we start, though, I want to draw your attention to our Patreon. Our community there is really the bedrock. It is the foundation of everything that we do here at Bad Movies Rule. They're the reason we're able to do as much content as we're able to do. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's with us on Patreon. If you haven't yet and you want to go check it out, we've got so many different things out there. We've got a whole other podcast, Good Movies Rule. We have another podcast launching in September here called On the House. Or actually, when this comes out, it's already launched back in September, called On the House, which is hosted by Dr. Mattila and the mayor, Ryan Mueller, here about sipping and tasting various adult beverages and reviewing
Yeah.
them, right? I mean, is that the gist of it?
That's about it. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited for that. Have some fun with those guys every
Hold
month.
on.
And then we've also got a horror podcast coming up too. Yeah.
You mean to tell me that you guys are doing a show in which you sit around and just drink beverages, and you didn't
They didn't
tell me
invite
about it?
either.
They
Well,
made one episode.
Yeah.
Didn't
literally
invite me?
hit record and said go.
They
I
literally
was here and they told me to leave.
That's true. You was here. He said, "No, you're not on this one."
Can you move along?
Two out of
don't-
three Ryans. Two out of
Clint,
three
don't you
Ryans.
have a
That's
race going on today?
Aren't you got something else to do?
I
just
think
not
what
right,
Ryan's
guys.
saying is he wants to be on the show.
That's just
Come
not
on,
right,
man.
guys.
Hey, here's
Well,
the
line
beautiful
up.
thing about this show. I have nothing to do with it. So
You know what? I'm changing my name to Brian.
The worst human beings on the planet.
and not to bury it because I know this got mixed up in Ryan's feud here. All of a sudden, this is a blood feud over this alcohol that's being drank. But we're also starting a horror podcast in October as well. That's going to be doing because I don't like doing horror movies. I don't, but because there's a couple people here that really like doing them, and so we're going to have an all horror movie show hosted by the husband and wife couple of Ryan and Lauren Mattila, with various guests, I'm sure, coming in for that
Wow.
as
Yeah.
well. So
Wow.
look forward to that. All kinds of stuff. So all that to say, join our Patreon and you'll get tons of other shows. $3 a month. You'll get at least 2 of those shows, Good Movies Rule and On the House. At some of our higher tiers, you get to vote. You get to do awards on the show. You get access to the horror podcast. So go on there, check things out. Patreon.com/badmoviesrule.
I'm going to start a show now, too.
What do you want to
it.
do? Go for it.
Old movies rule.
Everything from before 1920.
If it was like 1970,
If it had sound, we don't want it.
1979 and backwards.
There you go.
That's not old.
Well, you're saying 1979 stuff is old?
Right.
Yeah,
Get
what do you
out.
What do you
say?
I
say?
mean,
To us.
Out now.
I mean, you
Us
know,
young folk.
Come on. All right, guys, you ready to jump into Werewolves Within?
Yes.
See
Am
which
I?
one of us is the werewolf.
They did. Well, I'll say that later.
Oh,
I don't want to
thanks
ruin
for warning
anything.
us.
Just wait.
Perfect.
It won't be funny
Teasers.
then.
foreboding.
That's a teaser.
And Farrell, when I knew you were going to be on the show, and when the first thing that comes up on the screen is text, I'm always like, "All right, here we go."
Here we
but
go.
in this case,
Here we
I
go.
loved it because
Yeah.
it was Mr. Rogers.
It was a quote from Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Listening is where love begins. Listening to ourselves and then to our neighbors.
Yeah.
But all so dramatic.
The the classical horror like
You do that
was
so
good.
well,
Yeah.
dude. Yes,
I could just be an ambient music guy with
That'll be your new podcast.
ambient music with my mouth.
credits music with Ryan Farrell every month on the Patreon BMR. Be great. I'm going to take this opportunity because I don't know. It might be another 200 episodes before Mr. Rogers ever comes up. So I'm going to take my 30 seconds here. I freaking love Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
You know what? somebody was making fun of Barney the other day, and I'm like, I just missed Barney. I just missed all that stuff. When I was a kid, there were like 2 shows.
Yeah.
It was Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers.
Right.
And that was all we needed because Mr. Rogers was the man.
When did Lamb Chops come along?
He was probably out. I just never saw him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
No, Lamb Chops sing along. No.
Yeah,
had
no,
2
that was
shows.
that was already on. That was
That was like way in the
Yeah.
90s, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you on the Mr. Rogers train? Any of you besides
Yeah,
me?
I watched Mr.
Yeah, I watch
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers every day.
Every
love the
day after
trolley.
daycare.
Dude,
Yep.
come
I
on.
have one memory of watching Mr. Rogers.
Oh, you're a
King
young.
Friday? Come on.
Yeah, hey. Or even when as a kid, I was like, "What's up, Friday?"
Right?
Come on, man. What was your one memory of watching Mr. Rogers?
I just remember seeing the train and his puppets and stuff. It's like a very short.
And then you're like, "Turn on Barney. This is
No,
stupid."
I probably watched it all the time when I was really little, but it was before we moved to our new house, and
Gotcha.
so I was like 3,
And
maybe.
then you had the TV that only got the 2 channels.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got you.
Speaking of Barney, the actress that plays Gwen in the movie,
Yeah,
her first role was being Barney in the costume.
in the costume.
In the
Whoa.
costume.
The car mechanic used to be Barney.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have made this movie better if she would have came out in the Barney outfit.
That's incredible.
That's why she wanted to have a penis.
The wrench penis.
The wrench penis.
Oh my gosh.
I related with her the most, I think, out of everybody in the movie.
Well, you don't
She
say
was-
because you were used to be a car mechanic. So surprised. All right. So the first scene, let's just call it slightly derivative. It's Jaws in the forest, basically. You know the opening scene of Jaws.
Yeah.
With Chris
Yeah.
Yeah.
swimming. It just gets jerked around through the water.
Except he runs out naked in the snow and is swimming in the snow.
But no, he's that's not what happened.
It almost
But-
would have been better.
Same thing. You can't see the werewolf.
Yeah.
He's dragged around violently, just like in Jaws. And I'm like, oh, it's Jaws, but on the grass.
That's what somebody said.
I
last night.
legitimately
Yeah, we
said
said
that,
that last night,
and then
yeah.
they did it again later. I was like, "Oh, they're doing the Jaws thing again." Ryan
Yeah.
really looks at me. He's like, "Are you going to say that every time they do that?" I was like, depends on how many times they do it. You know, probably the first 5.
If they
pause
keep
the
doing
movie.
it.
Maybe we should start counting it right now.
It's
a
not
button.
the only Jaws ripoff they did.
it is not.
No.
We'll get to the other one when we
Yeah.
get to the other one. But yes.
I'll tell you, it's way more effective when it's under the water.
Yeah. Well, with under the water, the person that's getting attacked, there's no chance of them seeing it either.
Right.
So it's a lot scarier when you're swimming and then you think about it and you're like, I wouldn't know. Whereas with this, you're like, I'm going to look around the woods.
Is that a
Oh, there's
snapping
nothing
turtle?
there.
Right.
Nope.
And it's not even pitch black out.
Like,
Right.
It was just like dusk, and it's like this guy is like, "Whoa,
Barely.
what's this? Oh, there's all of a sudden a werewolf eating me."
Well, because there's no lights on the house when he first gets attacked. And then at the end, then the lights are on. So someone obviously just, they're automatic or whatever. But
Yes.
So it's right at dusk. It's right there.
After this, we meet our hero of the movie. His name is Finn, and he is the new park ranger for Beaverfield, I think is the name of the town.
Beaverfield, something like that.
Beaverfield, wherever they are. I don't even know if they ever
Vermont.
said the state. Vermont? Is it
Yeah,
really?
they showed a map
Ooh, nice.
later in the movie.
Yeah.
I tried to figure if it was New Hampshire or Vermont.
It
Vermont,
was up in
yeah.
that New England region
It's
up
got to
there.
be Vermont. Nothing
Yeah.
exciting ever happens in New Hampshire.
I mean, yeah, that's probably true.
That's,
Right.
that's accurate. I've been in New Hampshire.
Have you looked at our statistics
times.
to make sure we're not pissing off like 10 people?
No, we have about 9 that watch
good.
from New Hampshire. So
Only 9.
only 9 people.
If it was 10, it'd be a problem.
It'd be a huge issue.
We're really trying to get on Vermont, though.
And what
Yeah.
we learn about
Gotta-
Finn in this first scene as he's driving in is he's listening to a book about how to be a man.
Yes, yeah, balls.
Yeah. That was
Balls.
Okay, so
great.
apparently how you man up is just by screaming balls.
Yes, balls.
According to this movie.
screaming and yelling balls.
Yeah, so one of the things was just yelling in general.
Yeah, yell like a man.
Ah, yell. Ah! And then it was a whole other, this made it funny to me, it's a whole other chapter
Chapter 5.
screaming balls.
Repeat after me. Balls. Let's say balls.
Chapter 6, punch yourself in the face. Time to make it hurt. And then I kind of wanted to know what the rest of this book was.
Chapter 7. Misogyny.
I like that it was an instructional how-to to be a man.
Right.
Yeah.
By a woman.
By a woman.
By a woman.
That's perfect.
That's another great point. I didn't even consider
She knows.
that. She knows.
She knows. She likes balls.
She sounded like she was 80.
And then we get into town and we start to meet the villagers, and I call them the villagers just because this is essentially, it's a game, and that's how the game works. There's the werewolf, and then there's the villagers.
Yeah.
And so the first villager we meet is Janine. She owns this beautiful bed and breakfast,
Yeah.
Just gorgeous place. Her husband, we find Dave has absconded to Belize with a man or another woman. I don't remember.
Another woman.
Somebody. Okay.
Absconded to Belize.
He's off. She's got some guests in there. And so we meet her and we meet Sam Parker, who is the gas man, the man that is there to put a pipeline through Vermont.
Yes.
The evil oil baron who's come to destroy the beautiful environment. This is the way he's presented in the movie. Then, as we kind of go through, Finn takes a walk with the mail lady, who is played by Melania Vanderub, who is Van Trub, whatever, is the AT&T girl, as we said. So those are kind of the first three characters we meet.
Yeah.
AT&T girl is the mail lady, Sam the evil oil man, and Janine the owner of the bed and breakfast. Then they take a walk.
Yeah, I did think it was weird when he first walks into the bed and breakfast. He walks up and mail lady is sitting there reading a newspaper, and he tries to talk to her, and she doesn't even really respond other than just kind of point him to the front desk. She's like, basically go over there, but won't interact at all.
But you think, she's gonna be really cold. But then as they take this walk together, because she's like, I've got to go this way anyway.
Right.
Come walk with me. I've got to deliver this package to Emerson Flint, who she's scared to go see. We'll see why in a minute. And so he takes this walk with her, and she ends up being super sociable.
Right. Almost immediately though, when she comes up to his room, even she's like, seems real friendly. All of a sudden, it's like, what changed?
Right. And we meet. So as we go,
part of her archetype.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You can explain that to me later.
So as they walk, they meet two yoga guys. It's Joaquin and Devin.
Well, one's a tech guy and one's
a tech guy, one's a yoga guy.
Sure.
They're business owners in town. As I said, one of those is Guillermo from What We Do in Shadows.
Yep.
Then we meet Gwen the mechanic and her meth head boyfriend Marcus.
Marcus.
He is fantastic.
It was great.
It was fantastic.
This guy was awesome. He was such a douche, like intentional douche.
Yes.
He was trying to be like a 2000s version of Vanilla Ice and everything.
Yeah.
I've
Yes,
ever
he
seen.
was.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Yup.
We meet her. She yells at the postal worker. She's waiting for a fuel injector. This turns
And a
into an
starter.
important plot point later. And a starter.
Just freight starter cable problems.
Whatever it is, right? The X plug on her bike won't work. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
And she immediately accuses the mail lady of not having it. Like
not
where's
delivering
Where's it at? And as a mechanic, I felt that because legitimately the UPS guy would come up and drop off Beanie Babies to my mom and where's my parts?
Right. Marcus
bogus,
pulls up.
dude.
Marcus is upset as well. And yes, this is where she what'd you call it? The wrench dick?
Yeah.
Just holds it up. Just I think it's important they do this right away to let you know exactly what kind of characters.
Yeah.
Not only that, this is the movie as well. So we've got screaming balls and we've got wrench penises and go.
And then we have phallic-shaped propane fire memorial.
Got the light in the town, the middle of the town.
Yeah, so this it's supposedly like I think a propaganda piece for the pipeline.
Yeah.
Right.
Like some kind of
The gas company.
smoking gas company billboard, but they decided to build it look like a penis.
Yeah.
With a bunch of flames.
Two
shooting out the top.
propane tanks and a giant tower with flames shooting out the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a choice. That's a strong choice.
Real way to win over the environmentalists.
Right, we're not screwing the environment.
With our big
burning this
with our
gas
big
into the air.
propane penis here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Natural gas.
Jeez, Louise.
It was a rather small penis if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
comparatively.
screwing an entire
It seemed pretty
environment.
average to me.
For screwing it comparatively to the propane tank size.
And then we also meet Trish, the craft lady. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
And Trisha's husband.
And Trish husband Pete. I loved Pete.
Good dude.
Yep.
I said while we're sitting there, it's like if we redo this movie, I want to be him.
He's a major perv.
Pete, they establish right away that Pete is a conservative guy. He's got this sign in his yard, with for the pipeline,
yes,
the support of the pipeline that people had defaced, whatever. Pete runs up to Finn, the ranger, and salutes him with the wrong hand.
Yeah.
And so Finn goes,
Never go left.
No, never the left. And he's like, never the left, my kind of guy.
Yep.
not what he meant.
Yep.
It's not what he meant, man. It's not what he meant. So, but they're doing a good job of establishing the characters here.
Right.
And who all these people are going to be. And Trish is, right away, she's banana balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she wants the
I'm going to
pipeline
open a
come.
craft store.
She already has a little craft thing that she gives to Finn.
Here's a shampoo bottle.
The
Yeah.
shampoo bottle angels or whatever.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Finn is walking along up to Finn's place, and they have this important, we don't know at the time, conversation about snowshoes because he's wearing snowshoes to walk through the snow.
Right.
And he's one of these guys that's just, we talk about how they've established all the other characters. The way they establish Finn is that he's just literally the nicest guy that's ever lived.
Right.
And everyone holds that to his detriment.
Right.
Right.
They walk all over
Yeah.
him.
He's too nice. And so he's trying to share with her, or he's trying to relate to the AT&T girl and take a walk with her in the snow. And his way of being sociable is relaying fun facts about snowshoes, and all that stuff.
All the while, we didn't see this. His girlfriend and him don't live in the same place anymore. He's moving away to this new town area.
Yeah.
She's staying back, and he's trying to get phone calls in. She doesn't answer the phone. She doesn't respond to text, stuff like
Right.
that. So this whole time, we don't know that. And at the end of this conversation, she goes to give some really important tips to him, and he gets a phone call.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
So
hold on, sweet.
Suddenly she doesn't exist, AT&T girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Who
He's trying to make up with his girl or get contact. Yeah.
Well, he had T-Mobile, so.
she was trying to tell him, like, why don't you come over to my place later? I'll show you the 5G map. You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
Yeah.
She's trying to say, look, that
We got
sign,
more
the guy's
coverage.
not very friendly. He's going to shoot you.
Yeah. There's literally a huge sign.
Right. He
That's
misses
my
the
land
sign.
or you'll be shot.
Right.
She's
This
like,
is the whole point. Yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Flint
Yeah.
is the mountain man. We find there's this dude that lives up on the mountain that looks like Grizzly Adams. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got this giant beard. He looks like, compared to these guys, like he's 6'7", huge fur coat, the whole 9 yards. As soon as he gets up there to deliver this package, and the mail girl stayed behind, he literally says, "I don't recognize you or your organization," and I
Pulls the
Or your
shotgun.
pulls the
government.
shotgun
Yeah.
Yeah.
right to his chest. It's like if Ron Swanson had become a mountain man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who this guy.
That's
is,
a good,
basically.
yeah.
That's
I
accurate.
100% agree with
Definitely.
that. That's, yeah.
Parks and Rec. Clint. Parks and
All right, cool.
Yeah, you
Got
gotta
it.
watch.
You would
Parks
like
and
him.
Rec. You'd like.
If Ron Swanson
You would love Ron
retired,
Swanson.
You'd love Ron Swanson. He likes bacon.
Oh, well, there it is.
He has bacon
likes
hidden in his office. behind
bacon
him.
and whiskey.
Yeah.
Finn is trying to be nice and neighborly and drop the package, and
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
threatening him. And I like at one point he just very matter of fact goes, "Seriously, I will kill you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, finally takes
Like,
off.
all right, I got to go.
Okay, fine.
You're down to 10 seconds.
You're still counting.
To smooth things over, Cecily, I'll stop calling her the AT&T girl, sorry. Cecily brings him over to the Axe Den, which is this local bar that is empty, and it's a one button, everything comes on kind of a
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah.
The whole place.
She has access because they close for the winter. I think.
That's what it was. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember what
Yeah.
the
So
reasoning she
She's
gave.
able to just use it.
Little line of dialogue, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Who listens to that?
Who listens?
She's like, "Come on, I'll show you our friends and family plan. Come inside and
I love her friends and family plan, by the way. Friends and family plan were
Yes.
amazing together.
yeah, they were great."
Throw in a free session at the Axe bar here, throwing axes too.
There you
All
go.
right, I can just get this out of the way right now.
I wanted to go throw some axes last night. I tell you
AT&T
what.
girl is fine. Okay, I know when you see her in this AT&T commercial all the time,
Yeah.
and you don't expect it, and then she gets, she's obviously, head to toe in her male gear, and she
Right.
gets into and I was like, okay, all right, Cecily, but then here is Finn, who doesn't have a clue what to do in this situation,
Right.
Right.
because he's still obsessed with his
Well,
ex-girlfriend.
he's probably still thinking screaming balls in his head or something.
right.
Well, he's a nice guy. He would never contemplate cheating on his girlfriend that he thinks he still has a relationship with.
Right.
Well, this is what happens in the scene. He explains to her, well, she just thought it was best for our relationship if I was as far away from her as possible.
Right.
And she has to work through it with him.
So you don't live together. You don't
Oh my
talk
God,
to each
we're
other.
broken up, aren't we?
And then it dawns on him.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
So they go start throwing some axes.
They're
That's how
chucking
you-
axes.
Yeah, that's how you get that stress out.
Yeah.
They were going
Yeah.
to share a kombucha.
And this was
Kombucha,
actually, I thought, a really
whatever.
funny line of dialogue. When he misses with the first one, he's like, oh, these must be English axes. They're weighted
differently.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, they
He
use
just
the
plays
metric
along with
system.
it.
They use the metric system
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, you're right. But he's got that park ranger. He rizzes her up, pretty easily, honestly, given the fact that he hasn't really been doing well. She's still going in for the kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She asked him
But
if
she
can
asks
kiss.
permission.
She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's important.
Because this is 2021.
That's right.
I think it's like
Do
a vampire thing.
Do I have? Maybe it is a vampire thing. Wait, they don't know yet.
A vampire thing.
Also, she's not a vampire.
Vampires in this.
Yeah, she goes in for the kiss, which I was like, okay, she's being forward. That's cool because my guy here is never going to know
He's gonna need some help.
or how to do that, right?
Because he's a nice guy.
But as she's leaning in for the kiss, his phone rings and he takes
He
the
stops
call.
the kiss.
I'm literally sitting here rooting for this to turn into an 80s film.
not gonna happen, but
Does not happen, guys. I am sorry. But yeah,
That's
he
like-
takes the phone call. Unbelievable. I was like, dude.
It's the biggest L
yeah.
of all
and
time.
he's sitting there going, I'm sorry,
She-
while he's on the phone with
She
his
literally
girlfriend.
says,
And-
grow a pair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cicely walks literally walks away and
Yeah.
more or less gives him the finger.
I
Like,
couldn't believe it.
okay. But
I was
the
like,
fact
bro,
that
she
he
was about to show you how to add a fourth line for just $25. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, how far are we going with this?
All right, that can be our last one, maybe. We'll see.
He hasn't been counting them at all. We're up to like 30.
I don't know if these are puns.
all right.
They're more.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, what's that?
What were you going to say? You were going to say something.
Was I?
I think you were, and then I had to throw another
Another
AT&T
AT&T girl. No, she just because she's like basically peace out. But like
Right.
you were saying, he's like literally about to kiss her.
Yeah.
Like they're clearly in a moment
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
By the way, we glossed over the whole Walden thing.
Yeah.
She's got
Yeah.
a copy of Walden in her back pocket.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that.
I don't know who just walks around with Walden in their back pocket, but
That was kind
Well,
of weird.
so she could make the ass joke
yeah.
because he's like,
Right.
Well, then I read that or something, and she's like, my ass.
Oh, yeah, see?
Yeah. But that's
all right.
that's the other thing with the moment of like,
Right.
oh, when he's like, oh, Walden changed my life when I was 14.
Yeah.
It's why I wanted to be a park ranger. And she's like, oh, Walden changed my life. And they're all like,
And then
oh,
she's like,
Walden.
oh, I've always felt
Yeah.
most of myself outdoors.
Exactly.
I get that.
Oh.
Exactly.
Saying.
But the thing is, it's like it's establishing this attraction,
Right.
and he's literally about to kiss back.
He
Yeah.
is leaning in. It's not like he's oblivious to it.
No, he's not oblivious to it.
That's what makes it such a huge L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to consciously make the decision. If he was just oblivious and took the phone call because he didn't realize she was coming in for it,
Right.
That's a different
forgivable.
story, right?
Nope.
That's not what happened.
No.
Come on, Finn. Scream
bad
balls a little
bad
bit more.
form, Finn.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, we get Jaws 2 over here. Trish's
Ooh, yeah.
dog. Trish's dog. It's the reel scene on the orca.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where the reels are going click, 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 click.
Yep.
Right? She's got the
Yeah.
leash. She lets him out the doggy door, but she's still got the leash attached in the house, just like the reel from Jaws.
Yep.
And it starts to click, just like, and I'm like, come on, is every death scene going to be a derivative of Jaws? At this point, it's only the second one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie had some creative kills. I'm not going to slam all of them, but at this point, up to this point, I was like, all right, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Right. There's homage, and then there's we're just going to keep doing Jaws over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It was
For
hard
all
to
of our kills.
pinpoint though for this movie.
What's that?
That if it was homage or if it was
Right.
derivative. I mean, because obviously the whole thing thus far is this gigantic social satire.
It's tongue in cheek. I think
Yeah.
This whole thing is
And
supposed to be
it's-
tongue in cheek and
yeah.
tone
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Trish then, after her dog is eaten, busts into the bed and breakfast, and she is losing it. I mean, she played crazy. Michaela, the actress, played crazy really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she is going absolutely crazy about her dog getting eaten. And this is where we meet Dr. Ellis for the first time. Dr. Ellis, played by a dry, burnt piece of toast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
comes into the
That's
room.
what it was. I was like, what is this? And then
Yeah.
you said that, and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah. Not quite trash can full of dirt, but
Yeah, she's
Well,
burnt piece of toast.
burnt piece of
see.
toast.
Yeah.
We'll see how
Fail.
many votes
What
she
do you do
gets.
with burnt pieces of toast? though?
You throw them in the trash. Well, sometimes you can scrape them and salvage them. All right, I've scraped a
Yeah.
few
No.
pieces of
If
toast
it's the
before.
last piece of bread, you can't make
Yeah.
more.
yeah, it's
That's what I'm
Right.
saying, dude.
It's like I got 3 kids. I need.
you can't let your
4
kids
pieces
see you
of
do it though,
toast.
otherwise they know.
Then they know.
and they're like, I'm not eating
You got
that.
to cover that with peanut butter quick
Yeah.
and then hand it to
No,
them.
no, it's not burned.
It's not burnt.
That's right.
It's just
It's not
peanut butter.
burnt.
What are you talking about?
We just put pepper in the peanut butter. That's all.
It's just s'mores flavored.
Dr. Ellis comes up now. I guess she's taking hair samples off the collar or whatever, or not the collar, the leash. It's important, the leash
Yeah.
and all this, because she's going to analyze the hairs. And she's supposed to be some big famous environmentalist that's there to stop the pipeline, but she's got a lab set up in this bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
exactly is it that her lab is going to do to stop the pipeline?
She's also not good with people.
And she's like a veterinarian,
Apparently,
right? Or
she has a database
She just has the
on
database.
her laptop.
yeah.
Just the database
I mean,
of
technically,
hair.
you can
hair.
have a database on your laptop, but it's not going to have every single animal. I'll tell you that.
And why, if you're an environmentalist there to stop a pipeline would you have all that stuff?
Right.
Nature.
She's used to working in the woods.
Nature.
You forget.
Whatever.
That's her big thing.
Yeah.
Gwen and Marcus, the the auto mechanic and her boyfriend show up because the road is snowed in, and this is setting up everybody's trapped at the inn.
But can't we just use your truck to get down the mountain?
No,
I could.
Well, we could if I had that fuel injector and that starter I've
Yeah.
been waiting for.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Finn then discovers a body under the porch when checking the generators because the generators have been slashed open. Like, I think it was a knife. There's like
Dude,
clearly
yeah.
4.
It's
Even
like
a machete
Walmart.
wouldn't do that.
It looked like Wolverine slashing
Oh,
things
man.
open.
And then later
That
on,
was
there's like a
nice.
little
Yeah.
knife. Like, I
They,
think
they
this
find
is
this
it.
Yeah.
knife, and it's like it's a big knife if you think in terms of, Outback
I don't want that inside of me.
Outback Steakhouse size butter knife. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what this thing was. That's
Right,
the
yeah.
size.
Right. And they doused it in diesel.
And
Yeah.
how is this thing slicing up generators?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
like that. And they're
Steel
just
cased,
spread open.
Yeah.
industrial generator.
Right. But he finds the body of Janine's husband, who did not go to Belize, but he was under the porch.
And what does he say? What was his line?
Whose line? Finn's?
Finn's line.
Go ahead.
I don't remember. What was his? It was like
Oh, that good bring
like
up.
holy bejesus or something.
Oh, yeah.
When
we
he
made a
sees the
big deal out of
generators,
it.
he goes, heavens to Betsy.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
He sees the
Heavens
first
to
one, he
Betsy.
says
Betsy.
it.
Right.
And Clint goes, when we were watching, Clint goes, somebody wrote that line of dialogue. And then the next generator, he does it again, the exact same delivery.
Like that's his
That's
catchphrase. Are you
Betsy.
serious?
Well, because he's supposed to be Mr. Rogers,
This is-
basically, right?
This is 2021 one-liners. Heavens to Betsy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
But
that's important.
Maybe.
It's important.
Like it's important.
Yes.
Heavens to Betsy.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ellis finds another hair on David's corpse, and she's going to go analyze those things too.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Finn and Cecily have to go back out on a walk together because they're tasked with getting Emerson, the mountain man, to hunt and kill this animal that did this to Dave.
Right. Finn's
Did
kind of
this
pushing
to
for
the
it.
dog. Right. We're gonna
Right,
get him.
right.
He's part of the community. He'll
Right.
want to come and help
Sure.
everybody.
Emerson Flint.
And this walk is way more awkward because Cecily's still pissed off about the phone call from
Right.
Peter, right? And she wants him to man up. She wants him to start chanting balls and screaming or whatever, Something.
Be a misogynist.
Yeah. Smack me around a little.
Can't you just do something?
Do
I got steak
something.
I can put on my eye if you hit me.
Gosh.
Sorry.
They get up to Flint.
Oh, there's a look into Ryan's personal life.
It's a joke.
Poor
It's a joke.
Lauren.
They get up to Flint, and Emerson is not interested in hunting this thing at all.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a good line from Cecily. As soon as he says, "I'm not interested," she goes, "Okay, well, we're just gonna get out of your beard and get out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very clear on that.
But they do see up on the shelf behind him
Yeah.
is
She points it out to Finn.
she points it out to Finn that there's the collar of the dog that was killed.
Yeah.
But he says, "I'm not your man," Like I don't care that that's up there. I didn't do anything. And I'm also not helping. He tries to appeal to his sense of community, and he says, be a good neighbor like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
He does. That's right. That's right in the
And this man looks him dead in the face and says, "Who?"
That's how you know he's the villain.
That's hot. If you don't, immediately I don't trust him.
You don't trust anybody who doesn't know Mr. Rogers.
That's what I'm saying. How can you trust him?
That's a trap.
Anybody who's says who and is incredulous about Mr. Rogers, immediately out of here with that person.
Well, they tried.
done.
He lives
Yeah.
up in the woods.
They tried.
Who
They
knows?
couldn't open the door.
Maybe he was.
To
That
be
was kinda
fair, didn't look like he had any TV. He probably grew up in the woods. He didn't want any part of a community. He's living up on the mountain.
that
Yeah.
man is old enough to know who Mr. Rogers is.
That's a good
At
point,
one
too.
point.
Okay.
At one point
some
in his life.
in his
Maybe
life.
his mom had him out in the woods. You know.
I'm saying I thought he was an undercover cop. The second he said who, I was like, he's a cop. Get out of there.
He's a guy.
He's a werewolf. Or he's a werewolf.
Or he's a werewolf.
clearly undercover.
Yeah.
Seriously. That was the biggest red herring of the whole movie. I was like, the man doesn't know it's him. It's him.
Yeah.
All right, back at the
don't
Prancing
say.
Pony or whatever the place is called. Was
The
there ever
bed
a
and
name to
breakfast.
it? Was there ever a name given?
I
Huckleberry
don't
Fairy.
think so.
Huckleberry Fairy? No. I don't,
Wow.
Whatever.
That's a good Lord of the Rings reference, though.
we get to, and this is, I think, good representation of the game. They all are there starting to argue and theorize.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is what happens in the game, right? Exactly. It's like, well, this person wasn't around when this or this, what were the, go ahead.
I just think this is happening. And I'm sitting around last night and we were watching the movie and trying to get in information. So I didn't say it, but I was like, we all need to do a murder mystery.
Yes.
That'd be fun, dude.
Legitimately.
That'd be fun.
You guys can get a sitter. The rest of us have adult children. We need to.
Well, not you.
I'm not adult enough. Oh, you don't. That's right. You're screwed.
No.
But like, we could.
My daughter's literally 8 months.
Yeah.
So not even
host.
close.
You just started.
Kids younger than mine.
But yeah, we need to sit in a room and do a murder mystery.
I've done a couple. They're fun.
Amazing.
They're fun, dude, for
Yeah.
sure.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And they're starting to theorize like, okay, well, it could be these people. It could be Trish and her husband because they want the pipeline to come in. And so they're trying to remove people that are against it.
Right.
Or Dave got killed because he wanted to sell. And so Janine killed her own husband.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Because Janine didn't want to sell, but Dave wanted to
But
sell.
Dave wanted to.
And that's the...
And the mechanics want their money. And so
Right.
they're like...
and they're very adamant that they want their money.
Oh,
Yeah, they
I
are.
want my money like through the
Right,
entire
right.
movie.
And then
hilarious.
the LGBTQ plus power couple
Yes. Yeah.
doesn't want the pipeline to come through, but
Right.
they are also millionaires as
Already
they
millionaires.
Yes.
established. So
He's like, well, not quite millionaires. Like, It's like,
We actually are.
yeah, yeah.
Because like, we are? Are we really? He's like,
We got money.
He goes, yes, we're rich.
Yes, we're.
that is something to point out that this entire movie to this point, it, as we said, it's tongue in cheek, but it is, everything about it is very, very tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
Yeah.
Which
like
I appreciated
I
about it.
appreciate that about
Yes.
that. Like I thought
they didn't mix tones. You know
No,
what I mean?
right,
Like, that
exactly.
can seem so corny at times when it's just like, hey, this moment. But when it's the whole thing, I don't think it did that bad.
I agree for sure.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're like, all right, guys, this is getting crazy here. They ask the question, who's packing? And almost everybody pulls out.
I think there's like 3 people.
I was like, is this Wisconsin?
right?
They all.
Could have been New Hampshire. They like their guns up in New Hampshire
Right.
too.
Oh yeah.
The only people that didn't have guns were Cecily, the mail lady, and the yoga couple.
Yep.
Right.
And that was it. Everybody else was packing.
Yep.
Well, the mechanic lady didn't, but that's because her husband had it.
Because her husband had their gun. You're right, had her gun. But
he's
they
carrying
owned
my
one.
gun right now.
Exactly.
Once again, so who's packing? Is yes, I am, America. And he,
Yeah, everyone pulled out their guns. Okay, we did. There was something with when he's talking to Emerson. Not to jump back too far.
No, go ahead, jump back.
But when he's talking to him the first time with his gun in his chest and stuff, I don't know what Emerson says. I think it was when he's like, I don't recognize you or your office or your government.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm doing is I'm trapping, on my land.
On my land,
and
right.
I'm stand for freedom. And right when he says that, an eagle like goes off.
No,
It's
it
like,
did not.
yeah, go back and listen to it. I can't do it.
there's an eagle.
Yeah,
There's an eagle
It was
sound effect in the background.
Right then,
screech.
I caught it the second time, and I was like, "That was perfect."
What's funny about the eagle screech is eagles don't even screech like that. That's a hawk that makes that noise.
Right.
It's fun because people have just associated it.
Yep, everyone
And
just
I'm
thinks
cool
of
with
that. Yeah,
The American eagle is associated with this screech
With this
that's
screech.
made by a hawk.
They're more like I've seen them in real life. They chirp. They just chirp.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun. Hey, keep doing the screech. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. So as they all pull out their guns, like who's packing? So they go like, well, should we share guns? And Pete goes, my gun stays with me. So if somebody else needs it, I'm going to come with it. So you, Cecily,
Yeah.
do you need it in your room? You
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Me and my gun will be in my wife's room with her, unless someone else wants my gun.
Unless someone
in
else
their
wants
room.
my gun in their room. Yeah.
Which I will always be with. We also find out a little bit before this that Pete, the guy that's trying to get with Cecily, Trish's husband, actually hooked up with Angie, the car mechanic,
Yeah,
a few years ago.
Yeah,
Right.
Gwen?
She even says it never happened, and that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, first of all, it was 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and it never happened.
Wait a second.
Yeah. I know.
Hold on.
More layers of the onion are coming down.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
They they all go to bed with their guns, and in the night, Pete is dragged from his bed.
yeah.
Hand is bitten off, and Gwen comes out and shoots him in the chest.
Just like
Unloads.
lays out.
Yeah. That was funny.
Like, well, what was it? What did you see? He's like, I don't know. I didn't see anything. You just started shooting.
yeah. And Oil Man says, "How many times did you shoot?"
Right.
How many times you ask dumbass questions? Or whatever she said.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And Pete is like literally he's got like his pinky left and
Yep.
some stubs, and it's
Yeah.
He's like, "Where's my
My
hand?"
hand. Someone help me find my hand.
And then Marcus goes, "I got you, bro." And
Yeah,
like just
he runs over. He's looking around.
I love Marcus, man. They all get into the other room, and Dr. Ellis comes over and she's analyzing the hair now. She found a hair on him in 1 second.
She walks up, doesn't say anything to anybody, and just takes the tweezers out and grabs it.
And takes a picture.
Yes.
And
Very
takes a-
awkward.
yeah.
Very slowly and awkwardly. Just
And also on her
Yeah.
workstation, she has the worst progress bar that's ever been put in a movie ever.
Is it?
Because it looks like it's moving and it ever actually moves. And so I would
a
find
lot
it
of progress.
All progress bars.
A lot of progress bars are like that.
it's terrible. And she deduces it's one of you. It's inconclusive, but she knows it's one of you,
Right.
and locks her door.
Yeah, she's
Right.
it's a lycanthrope.
It's a lycanthrope. It's
one
a
of you.
lycanthropy or what? I don't know what
She-
they couldn't pronounce it.
She doesn't just lock the door. They go and knock on the door, and she unloads like 3 shots
Oh, I forgot
into
about
the
that.
door,
Yep. Yes.
and is like,
Could have killed somebody.
"Yeah, if any of you touches my door again, or if any of you touches my door, I will shoot
Right.
again."
yeah.
So Sam
Another
Parker,
good
the
line.
gas man.
Yeah.
Another good line of dialogue.
Oh yeah. Sam Parker breaks through the other door into her room. There's a second
Yeah.
door into her room,
Yeah.
and she shoots herself.
Apparently,
Well, we think-
that's what we're told.
We're
see-
told that's what happens.
What
See,
I
the
am
way
going
the
to-
shot, it's shot though from the perspective of the other door. So all you see is the
The flash.
muzzle flash.
You don't really know.
So you don't know if she
'Cause she
shot
says,
herself.
"Don't come any closer." And he's like, says something about.
So if like, and a werewolf is approaching you, like, don't come any closer. Your move is to shoot yourself.
Well,
Well, if you know a werewolf's going to come and eat your gizzards, or would you
Guess
like to just be
they,
dead?
just to throw them off so they wouldn't like
Instead of shooting him,
don't ever let them know your next move. I guess right like the werewolf.
she's like YOLO, and it's done now.
right.
right, maybe in confusion they'll catch
that gun's
the
not going to work on a werewolf. It ain't got no silver bullets in
No,
it. You know, what are
That's
you going to do
true.
with that?
Why do they need guns in the first place then?
Or
Whatever.
titanium.
Titanium
Doesn't
bullets.
matter. But Dr. Ellis is now dead, and they all start arguing, and they all draw down on each other.
Yeah.
And,
Got a Mexican standoff. Don't say Mexican, honey.
Just stand up.
It's just a standoff.
Yep.
So stupid.
Good stuff.
It's good.
And they all
funny.
start screaming at each other. Ginny, you killed your. They all got guns out.
Yep.
They're all screaming. You killed your husband. No, it's you because you want the money for this. And the whole time in the background, Amber is doing a freaking air guitar.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's just going like nuts.
Like getting off on everybody screaming and yelling at each other. I'm like,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
two are the best.
Oh, you know what else she did?
What?
Is right before the doctor figures out that it's a lycanthrope.
Yeah.
Is she? I keep jumping back. I'm sorry, but she walks up to this picture that's hanging on the, or like a painting that's on
It's
the
actually
wall.
an old famous painting of
Okay.
a lycanthrope. Yeah, go ahead.
And so like there's a wolf that's holding a baby in its mouth, and she just goes effing rad.
Yeah.
you think she's going to be like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Right. But no, she doesn't. She's like, this
that was great.
This is awesome. Yeah, and so she's doing the air guitar, like everyone's screaming and yelling, and she's getting on it. And ultimately, Finn mans up and tries to control the situation, right? And he goes off on this whole thing. We are
Throws a thing
community-
against the wall.
Yeah,
Shatters the.
Yeah.
What does she say? That was, I don't know what it was.
Some kind of China.
China.
It was like
Yeah.
some special
whatever.
glass. Yeah.
Janine was not happy about that, but he's getting everybody's attention. We are a community. It's the Sam Jackson speech from Deep Blue Sea, except he's not about to get eaten by a
Right.
werewolf, right? It's like a time for everybody to come together. And it doesn't work. Everyone leaves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody walks out the door.
And the best to me, I'll just say it now, the best line in the movie to me is Marcus. He says, F your house. I hope y'all dildos get eaten by a wolf.
That was hilarious. I was not expecting that.
That was good.
Yep. It was funny.
That killed me. I was like, no, I didn't want them to. I wanted them to stay in every scene.
Yeah.
Every scene.
Yeah.
But they all,
Yeah.
everybody with Cecily and Finn, and then Janine, who owns the bed and breakfast, obviously doesn't leave.
Right.
Everyone else just kind of scatters to the wind there. And we see as they all go apart that the gas man Parker is basically Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead because he opens the back of his car.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 And there's a whole arsenal. There's like a
Got
crossbow.
grenades. Yeah, crossbow.
It was like the back of Mueller's truck.
Right. Yeah. He came
I
ready.
assume.
That's fair.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You get
I
like
keep the cover on it.
Did you get the lights installed so that when in the smoke machine, so when it opens up,
I got to get the smoke machine installed. The lights are in there, though.
perfect.
Nice. Nice.
Perfect.
And the dual Colt 45.
That's right.
There you
It's
go.
got to be just a
Sequential
tiny bit of
serial
fog
numbers.
that rolls out
Yeah.
when you open it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Does it make the noise? You got to get that in there too.
He just hisses while
Just
you.
hiss.
Yeah, he makes the noise. We gotta get that on a speaker.
And we find out Parker, the gas guy, has been essentially tracking all of these attacks throughout the Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as they've
Yeah.
been happening. And so that,
Right.
yeah, he's maybe there for the pipeline, but it looks like he's actually tracking whatever this thing is to kill it.
But the messed up part of it is our dude Finn was at the last one and is moving to here.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when he
Right.
moved from station to station or post to post,
Right.
he's getting moved along with this thing. It just happened to have. So that just leaves you that, who is it? that little
There's lots of red herrings.
Right.
And I know we
This
all
is
know
the
now
next
because
one.
we've seen it, but is there any, how many times during the
I was
movie
wrong 3 times.
did you change who you thought it was?
Yeah. I was
changed.
absolutely wrong 3 times.
Yeah.
And then I had it. And then I wavered, but it was.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you nail it or did you?
No, I figured about probably three
Yeah.
times that I was.
Yeah.
They
Thinking.
feed you the
Yeah.
answer 3 times wrong.
Right. I think they do generally a good job because not every whodunit I've seen is good at. But I thought they did a pretty good job of not
Yeah.
making it clear.
And when you look back
Yeah.
at it now that we've seen it,
Yeah, you're like, oh,
all of the clues were there early to pick the right answer too.
Right.
Right.
Right. It is true. But
Yeah.
this is the flip where you kind of get the idea that maybe it's Finn.
right.
Yeah.
Because he turns around and he's like,
Holding a knife.
He's got
Oh,
the
he's
knife
got
out of the drawer.
This is where they
Knife.
find the knife that's covered in diesel that they think
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
up the.
But just the way he he turns around, he's like, Sicily,
Also,
smell this knife.
You're right.
Yeah.
she was
And-
questioning whether or not it
Right.
was him.
Right, because
Right.
she finds the article with the Grout Pond story.
Right.
And
Wait,
she
you
says,
said you were at Grout Pond and
Finn, didn't you say you were at Grout Pond?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when Pete got his hand bitten off, she's there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember because I'm always in there. Who's not here?
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm always trying to look and figure out and find.
Uh-huh.
And so Finn was there, she was there, a couple other people. So that's why I thought it was other people. So yeah, I did a good job of getting bounced around on that one for sure. But yeah, everybody essentially left. On the walk home, Trish kills Devin, the yoga guy, with a maple tapper.
that's
Yeah.
true story.
Okay.
Yeah.
She wants her money.
But
She wants
she's
her
not
craft
even
store.
the,
What's a craft
she's
store?
not
Yeah.
even the werewolf though.
Right.
She just straight up is murdering
She
him
just
for
goes
the
psycho.
money.
Here, this is where the movie really takes just this random turn.
Yeah.
That personally I really love.
Good. The fact that like all these people start dying and not one of them killed by a werewolf.
Yes.
Everyone's going crazy.
Spoiler alert. What we're going to talk about for
Yes.
the next 10 minutes
Yes.
is everybody in town dies, not by a werewolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Trish is the first one to kill Devin and Joaquim with an M. This is important.
He made a point too.
Yeah.
Joaquim with an M.
Goes and hides back under the porch at the bed and breakfast when Devon gets killed by the maple tapper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Parker comes back to the hotel now with his night vision and his crossbows and everything, kicks in the door
Cowboy hat.
and his
And a
cowboy hat.
flashlight, which would cancel out the night vision.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, tech guy. You know,
Sorry.
Pipe down over there.
Yeah.
Quit making sense.
You're going to ruin this totally believable movie.
nobody asked you.
Well, you have the flashlight here with your night vision on, so that if somebody else has night vision, you're blinding them.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Because werewolves have night vision.
That's how it works.
Finn and Cecily are
in the
able
dark?
to escape. Finn and Cecily get out of the inn before Parker can get to them. Find Joaquin.
In a one-shot pass.
That's right.
I like that.
And they find Joaquin hiding under the porch, and the three of them get out of there and get to Trish's, where they find Marcus, who has made a Freddy glove.
Yeah.
I love that.
He duct tapes knives to his fingers, man.
Explain his reasoning here. What the hell is he thinking?
I
'cause
can't-
to him, he's big-brained this whole
And
scenario.
those knives were bigger than the one that were supposedly slashed open the generators.
He
Yeah.
says that this way he can be, he's not sure if there's a full-time werewolf or a part-time werewolf, but he's now the werewolf. He's going to rob everybody and
make it
blame
look
on
like a werewolf,
Yeah,
does it?
make it look like a werewolf.
It's a Freddy glove.
It's a
Yeah, it looks like-
but it's not even a glove. It's all duct
It's
tape.
duct tape, yeah.
It's all duct tape.
It's the
He's
Bob
like,
Hauser special. Is what it
Yeah.
is. It's just-
And then he
Bob
takes
used
a
to just
swipe,
duct tape
right?
everything. Yeah, and then he
Duct
takes
tape
his
knives to my
swipe.
hand, but underneath it's just my hand.
It's just my
Yeah.
hand.
dude. He was a great tweaker.
Yes.
Great
Finn's-
tweaker character.
Finn's reaction when he gets swiped, he's not worried about it at all
my
that he
work
could have
shirt.
gotten killed. He's just like, that's my work shirt. You're like, you just almost got gutted by a steak knife.
I forgot about that. And he was so sincere when he
Yeah.
said it. That's my work shirt.
That's what a nice guy would say.
I only
I
got one
suppose.
work shirt.
What a nice guy would say.
Oh, you're right. It probably was his only work shirt.
It's only work shirt.
Come on. All right. So then after that, Angie. So now they're basically chased into the street where Marcus is.
Marcus is absconding with the goods.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
goods and running
saying
out.
Talking
a
crap,
bunch of
backing-
crazy
backing
stuff.
up.
I couldn't even quote it all, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's hilarious.
And Angie just backs his ass over with the truck.
And then yells, Marcus, get in here quick.
She came in hard on him too, just like
Splat.
She's not checking her mirrors or nothing.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm coming back.
the backup camera wasn't working, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think that thing had a backup cam. Yells
Just,
into the house.
yep.
Come on, Marcus, what's taking so long?
Yeah.
He's under your truck, Angie.
Yeah.
You just killed him.
And she
his
says
knife
something
glove.
about blowing your brains out or something
something.
And then
about
gets-
brains.
And it gets her brains blown
Yeah.
out
And
on the
then
other side
10
of the truck.
seconds later.
And if
Yeah.
it seems like we're going fast through this, it's happening like bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
It
By
literally
Marcus.
does.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backs over Marcus. Boom. Trish blows Angie's head off.
Yep.
And Trish shoots.
So Trish has killed two
Yeah.
people that we know
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Right. And she kills. So she kills. Now Angie and Marcus are both dead.
Yep.
She blows her head off and says,
Right
home
after
wrecker.
that,
Yeah.
it cuts to Cecily, who's still standing on the porch. She goes, "Yeah, this town is batshit."
Yeah.
Yep.
They all end up back in Trish's house, and Trish, who has killed two people, you're right at this
They
point,
lock the door.
gives the most calmest "wipe your feet"
Yeah.
to the people
Right.
that are inside of her house,
Yeah.
and she's totally acting like all of this is normal
Right.
Well,
for her.
for her. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right, sorry.
That's the best
I'm
way
just
to go
catching my
about it.
breath because this is happening so fast. All right,
It really does.
Joaquin ultimately kills Trish
Yep.
for killing Devin.
So
Right.
well, Trish goes around the back door. Now there's another kind of little standoff moment in
Right.
the living room.
Well, that was the funny part.
Yeah.
They lock her out.
Right.
And they're in the house. She's talking to him and stuff like that. It's like, it's my house. Like, I don't know another way in. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what she
right,
says.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she
So-
notices that her husband died on the couch, Pete.
Oh, that's right. Because they've just been dragging him from place to place because
Yeah.
even though his hand has been
With
off,
bullet holes
and
in
he's
him.
bullet holes in him, he has now finally bled out.
Yeah.
And he's dead.
Yeah,
Yes,
something.
You're right.
Septic shock
Yeah.
or something. 'cause
Whatever.
He's all gray and
So
And he got so loony at one point. He's like, "I ate my own hand."
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
that's a
werewolf.
good scene too.
We're all werewolves.
That's a good scene.
was
That's
good.
another good scene
No,
where
it
he's
is.
just like, maybe we're all. You're a werewolf.
Yeah.
You're a werewolf. I'm a werewolf.
I have my own hand, and then he pretends and he
mean,
hits
dude,
his hand on accident.
like,
He's like,
ow.
You got to imagine you'd be losing it at a certain
Yeah.
point.
At that point, that's when you got to be like, oh, we need antibiotics for him because he's really going fast.
Yeah.
How does Joaquin kill Trish though?
He grabs a fire poker.
He doesn't
Yeah.
really kill her.
and waits for her to get distracted, and then he cracks her across the face.
right.
And he's like, "She's okay," and then she falls face
And then
first
she
into
falls
the fire.
face first into the fire.
and they
pit.
don't move her. They're just
They're
like,
like,
"Well,
oh,
that
let's
solved
go."
itself. We're gonna go."
It's like, hey, we're out. Bye.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So there's 3 people left.
3 people are left.
4.
5.
That's it. Well, maybe. So
Yes.
Joaquin,
6,
they walk
actually.
outside. So
6
now
people.
it's a moment to breathe. Okay, hold on, we'll get there. There's a moment to breathe. Joaquin, Cecily, and Finn are walked back out into the street, and there's a moment where you think, all right,
Yeah.
they start having oh man, wasn't this kind of a crazy thing kind of conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
No,
where
that's
he
over.
drops the innocuous comment about how Cecily is the 7th born.
Because she had shared that information,
She had
Right.
shared that earlier.
and then Joaquin had said,
Back when they were making all these accusations
"When I was in
at the end.
Argentina."
Right.
Argentina.
When they were making
like
all
how he
these
said that.
Because they're werewolves.
Yeah, when they were
Yeah.
making all these accusations back at the motel, he was saying how, back in Argentina, they would always kill the 7th born because that one's a werewolf.
Hey.
Right.
Argentina.
Argentina, sorry.
And
Yeah.
Cecily was like, "But you don't still do that because that's crazy, right?"
Yep. Yep.
but then when he drops this later that she was the 7th born, Joaquin grabs Cecily.
Yep.
Now,
Somehow he's got a gun now.
He's going to kill her,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know where he got the gun.
But ultimately,
Tomato,
Joaquin is
tomato.
killed by Parker, who's there with his crossbow, who wings Finn in the process and then kills Joaquin.
Okay, I was thinking
now,
about this though. He thinks Parker, right?
The gas man is Parker.
Gas man Parker thinks that
Finn,
is the werewolf at this point.
the park ranger, yes.
And so he shoots, he's trying to hit Finn, but he accidentally hits Joaquin.
You think so?
You think he wasn't trying to
accidental?
save Cecily?
I don't
think so.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
because he
I
said
think
straight
it was
out, "You're the werewolf."
I think it's a lucky accident because I was trying to figure out why did he shoot Joaquin? I keep trying to call him Guillermo, but why did he shoot Joaquin?
Well,
Right.
Joaquin had Cicely hostage at this point.
Okay. I don't
Yes,
know.
and now Parker grabs Cecily. Parker's got Cecily hostage at this point.
It's like Parker's on the one side of the street. You got Finn in the middle. Joaquin grabs Cecily,
Right.
and does his once again lovely scene when he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta kill you. I freaking love you so much."
Right.
Yes, but ultimately he gets taken out, and then Parker comes, and now he's got
Now
Cecily,
Parker
and
takes Cecily.
and he is now explaining to Finn how he knows he's the werewolf.
Yes.
You were at this posting,
Right.
all these places happen, and I know it's you.
And then Parker says, "And I found a knife that smells like diesel in your room."
Right.
Well, I found it in your room.
And then Finn says, "No, I found it in your room."
Right.
That someone is manipulating the scenario.
Yeah.
Where people are infighting and finding evidence in other people's places and things
Exactly.
like that, right?
Exactly.
And ultimately, Finn, I don't remember how he gets the distraction on him.
She hits Parker.
That's
she
right.
starts attacking him to try to defend herself.
Finn tackles Parker to the ground, but he gets Assassin's Creeded because Parker's got, it's an Ubisoft thing.
Yep.
Has the blade come out from inside of his arm.
out of the
That was
inside
kinda
of the cuff.
That's got to be an Ubisoft.
He gets
Easter
on
egg,
top
right?
and he's like, "I hope you likes the taste of silver."
Yeah.
That's what he says. too.
Ends up knifing Finn in the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Parker does. And then Joaquin shoots, who's not dead yet,
Yeah.
shoots the pipeline penis.
Yes.
And kills everybody. The end. That's what would have happened in reality.
Oh, dude, the backup on this is like they literally didn't have the money to make this big explosion.
Yeah.
Right? They back up and it's just this little cartoon.
They lit a match.
Yeah.
Suddenly the camera's a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It cuts. Joaquin says like some one-liner.
Yeah.
Of something.
Right.
And Parker.
Because they're all on the ground wrestling right next to the giant propane penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Finn sprays him with the bear spray.
That's how he
Oh,
gets
that's
to
it.
was.
Yeah.
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 And then
Gets him with the bear spray.
Parker's stumbling towards the propane penis.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then boom, it goes off. We see
boom.
the explosion from very far away.
Very
Cut away.
far.
Wide shot of the entire mountain range.
Yep.
And this little poof.
Little spark.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then cut back to all this carnage on the street.
They
of
just had a lighter. They were
flaming
sparking.
debris.
That's called we can't blow up this street for real.
That's called. We do not have the budget for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
$6.5 million, but we don't have the budget for this.
Not to blow
Yeah.
up a giant propane. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all
But
right.
here's the thing. You're right. Only Parker's dead. And
Yeah.
Joaquin, the other two, he's like, I covered her with my coat.
Yeah.
And so she's fine. We're
Yeah.
both good. Finn, the park ranger, and Cecily, the mail lady, are okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
So they
I mean,
go-
Finn's still stabbed in the side.
Yeah.
But
let's get to the axe
let's get to the axe throwing place. We got to wrap this whole thing up. She's going to bring him there and she's going to nurse him back to health. Right? She's going to show him all the 5G coverage that you can get with AT&T.
He's not going to answer his phone when she goes in for the kiss.
She's like, I got a new charger port.
I'll tell you, for a social commentary in 2021,
Yeah.
that was the only thing of those years of 2020, 2021.
Yes.
The only thing they didn't bring up was the 5G tower.
No.
Yeah.
controversy.
I can tell you one more thing here that's really, really wrong with that. Nobody answers their goddamn phone.
That's
fair.
That's true.
Also, why does he have cell phone reception a couple of times? They're laying out that it's spotty, but not spotty enough to where no one could get a call out at all.
Well, because it's AT&T.
Exactly.
That's why.
yeah.
Can you hear
See?
me now?
okay.
Yeah, they needed to get that guy in here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they had the wrong
Mobile
actor.
guy.
Yeah.
That was T-Mobile guy,
That's right.
but they got 18.
But they got
Girl.
the AT&T girl.
But he used to
They
be
did
Sprint.
better.
Right.
Was it?
Yeah, he was originally.
Oh, that's right.
He was
Verizon.
He was
Verizon.
originally
Verizon,
Verizon, and then he
He
was
went
doing
Verizon,
Sprint. Yeah.
Sprint, and then
Sprint turned
he's
to
been all
T-Mobile.
over. Man.
Yeah.
Sprint became T-Mobile. Yeah.
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 All right, so they go back to the axe den to wind down and tend to Finn's mortal wound while she's off getting something,
Bandages.
whatever.
Yeah.
Finn finds the fuel injector.
Trope alert.
And
Oh,
yeah.
You know
Let's
how
hit it.
he finds it?
How does he
Cell
find
phones magically stop losing battery when you kill someone and take their cell phone because the
that what it
phone's
is?
going off, and
Oh,
it's the
it's
dude's
Dave's
phone
phone.
from 28 days ago. Or
29 and a
29 and a half. So now 30 days.
Yeah.
30 days ago, this phone
Dude,
got taken.
If I
still
If it's an
never,
old flip phone, that's probably legit.
you think if I never made another call and never turned my phone on, it would last a day and a half.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Even with it off.
With it off, it's lasting a day and a half.
And this-
30 days
right.
is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
And who's calling him 29 and a half days later after
Right.
he died?
I don't think he's dead. Let me call Dave
I'm
up.
going to call
I'm going to
Dave.
try again.
I haven't heard from Dave in a while. I'm going to give him a call right now.
It was Devin Aoki.
That's what it was.
You're not dead. I don't have a body.
That's who he
Oh my
ran.
gosh.
That's who he ran off with. The boobies.
He's got Dave. She's got Dave's phone. She's got the fuel injector. Loads
Yep.
of mail. Loads of undelivered mail.
And then we find out
Dave was the mailman.
Dave was the mailman
That's right.
who didn't work for the postal service.
And so she just assumed his position as, oh, I'm the new mail lady.
Right.
Male person.
Male person.
Male person.
It's 2021.
Gender's a social construct.
Yeah, that came up.
Yeah,
Just
that was her
glossing
line.
over that.
That was
yeah.
a thing.
So he's basically figured out it's Cecily. It's the AT&T girl. She's the werewolf.
Yes.
No, I was legitimately bummed for Finn
Yeah.
that she was the werewolf.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Don't be
was.
such a
Were
nice
you?
guy. That's
Well,
my
they're
thing.
walking back in there. I'm thinking, all right, here's redemption. We're going back
Yeah.
to the 80s now, finally.
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
Right.
all right, he's not going to make the same mistake twice, right? Not going to mess this up.
He's
not
finally going to bring her to prom.
right? He's going to sign up for all the discounts. He's going to sign up for auto pay, paperless billing, all that stuff.
She'll throw in a Wi-Fi charger.
Getting the Wi-Fi charger, the
And an
insurance
iPhone
plan,
16 absolutely free.
screen protector.
Yeah, at this point.
Okay, he's getting it all. Screen protector, everything. She steps out and knows he knows because he says to her, "It's you, isn't it?"
Right.
I thought the toe tapping on the floor was fantastic.
Like shit cracked her
that was-
toes.
Yeah.
He did.
Right?
Yeah.
Each one individually. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, such a great little touch.
I liked it better than the scream.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 No, for sure.
That's coming up here in a second.
Cecily, she explains to Finn, was too good to be true. Oh, Finn. Oh, and she starts
Yeah.
like pretending.
Nobody likes
This is the
Walden.
archetype that I was talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, just that like she is written to be that archetype, the manic pixie dream girl, as it is called.
Right.
Where she's this quirky, like the way she speaks, she's like uses like new slang.
Yeah.
and-
Oh,
right.
Finn, help me. Or something.
Right.
Oh, all this
And
stuff,
then
right? And she's
she's
literally
like-
mocking herself.
Even like
Right.
the scene when they first go to the axe den and she's like, I'll be right back.
Right.
Play some music. And it's the 90s song. And then she's like, I love this song. And she
she's
comes out
dancing with the
dancing
beers.
Right.
the kombucha.
Kombucha,
tea.
sorry,
Yeah.
the kombucha.
She comes out dancing with the kombucha. And it's like, it sets up the whole manic pixie dream girl
Right.
archetype for her.
Right.
And it's like
then-
none of, but she's like, she immediately goes, but none of
Yes.
it worked. She goes, you're pathological, man.
Yep.
Like
And
you almost
what-
blew up my whole plan.
Yeah.
And what exactly is my pathology?
You're too nice.
You're too nice.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Dude, and there's this other great line he says to her, he goes, you're a monster. And she goes, girls gotta eat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and she said something cool too when she was like, she said werewolves are real.
Mm-hmm.
Girls that are into Walden and into you for being into national
Girls
forest.
National Forest.
That's
or
what,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Girls
those are
are
a thing.
werewolves are real. Girls who read Walden and drink kombucha and who are into your stories about national parks.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
Those are a fantasy.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
it
I
was
like that
knife
line.
straight to my guy's heart, dude.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why I loved at this point when he goes off, it's okay to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's okay to be a nice guy. And I want people to do nice things for each other and for me. And I love that whole rant that he went off on.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, go off, dude. This is, yes, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And that's when she finally transforms,
Yeah.
but keeps her shirt on.
Oh.
Oh, that's what you're waiting
No,
for.
no, no. I'm just saying. Okay, look. I understand if somebody doesn't, but every other werewolf we've ever seen in
They turn
anything
into a
ever,
full-blown
they turn into a full-blown werewolf.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm cover everything with hair. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it looked
you don't
a little.
even have to have it be a like. It could literally not be a woman anymore.
That's what I'm saying. It
because
doesn't
it's
have
a
to be
wolf.
gratuitous or exposing or exploitive or anything.
Right.
Sure.
Right. But like it looks a little
It'd be better if
ridiculous.
It was.
Making it like, yeah.
Not like the ones in Howling 2.
He's gonna delete it. Doesn't matter.
It's
Dog porn.
it's it just looked a little ridiculous. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't.
it did.
You know, for the fact that like her whole body is shifting, changing.
Yeah.
That was all fine. But then
all
she
right.
But then
comes
not
up,
much happened.
and then the fact that she's still dressed in her male
Like, and
costume.
I don't even think her short shirt
was like a
tore
camisole.
or anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know how she's getting bigger, transforming into a werewolf, and it's like, oh, I still got my size extra small AT&T uniform
That was
shirt
not
on.
an extra
Right.
small, my guy.
And then Finn, thank God he actually used him, because it took him a while, but before he's like, I'm gonna hide behind this giant rack of axes.
Right.
Yes.
For a while.
But that was funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Pick him up, dude.
Yeah.
And he starts chucking them. I thought they're going to pay off the fact that he threw him over, but he never actually hits her with the
No.
axe.
Yeah.
And
That was a little disappointing.
It's
was
hard
a
to
little
throw axes.
But-
It is. Yeah.
Flint Emerson shows up,
Yeah.
inspired by Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally what he says. I thought about you saying being a good neighbor and about Mr. Rogers.
Check
He was-
them out on
He
Hulu.
said
He loved
Yeah.
himself
Yep.
first, and then he,
Yes.
or what is it?
And he comes in and starts fighting with the werewolf. But then she's on him, chewing on his neck, and Finn just stands there.
Yeah.
I'm like, help the dude out, bro.
For real.
Well, he was
He
exhausted.
was being nice. Okay.
He was exhausted.
Well, she's got to eat.
This is where you can't be too nice of a person, because he's like, well, I
Right.
don't want to interrupt while she's eating. She gets kind of hangry.
Finally, she jumps, and now they're fighting. She's back wrestling with Finn again, and in a full circle thing, Finn grabs a snowshoe that had fallen off
Yeah.
the wall and stabs her right in the neck with the broken end of it.
snowshoe.
Yep.
Yep.
Broken end of it, and her eyes glaze over, and she slumps off. And I was like, what a great full circle moment to get her with the snowshoe. That she gave him a hard time about the fact that he knew snowshoe facts.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's another fact. They hurt.
Oh my gosh.
There was a
stuff.
couple good full circle moments.
Yeah.
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 And they get up. Flint Emerson is okay. They're having a little chat in the doorway. Both of them bleeding.
Yeah.
Well, like, hey, let's. Thanks for coming. Hey, man, yeah, I wanted to be a good neighbor.
You
that whole
hungry?
thing.
You hungry? Maybe. What was her name?
We'll go to Janine's and
Maybe
she'll
Janine will make us a
sandwich.
sandwich.
Yeah.
All of them in the background, you see Cecily still in werewolf form, getting up, pulling the snowshoe out of her neck.
Yep.
Yep.
Getting ready to leap on the
All
two
in
of
one
them.
shot.
All in one
shot.
one
Yeah.
nicely framed shot.
Yep.
It's almost like a little bit of Wes Anderson with the doorway there. And she comes jumping towards the two of them. Arrow flies in from a crossbow.
Before
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Finn looks back over there.
Yeah.
After she gets
It's
up.
true though.
For
That
the
did
one
happen.
second that she wasn't, like she was
Right.
off to the side,
Yeah.
Yep.
is
Yeah.
when he glanced back.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
timing was
And
perfect.
he keeps and then he just keeps talking to Flint.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers, he's great. And
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, though, somebody from off screen shoots her in midair with the crossbow, and it cuts. And there's Janine. Make your own damn sandwich.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like random arrow.
Right?
I love it. It's a theme on our show.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It was awesome.
Cut to black.
I just wanted her, instead of that, I wanted her to say, "No friends and family discount for you."
We made the
That's
switch.
That's the movie. Oh my gosh,
That's the sign off. Make your own damn sandwich.
I
That
love
was
it.
great.
It's
Cuts
good.
Good way to
Credits.
end it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, we are going to do what we always do, and we are going to give this movie some awards. And we'll start off with the award that we give out to the most intense actor in the movie, the one that really came in. Yeah, we're in a weird, kind of goofy horror comedy werewolf movie, but I'm giving this thing 110%. That's the Will Patton Award for intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night! And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
All right, and so here we go. Who are our nominees for the Will Patton Award for intensity? Clint, you got one?
I was gonna go with the douchey boyfriend, but I think I'm gonna go with the creepy husband instead.
Pete?
Pete Anderson.
Pete was fantastic. I dug his just total 100% portrayal of
Yes.
creeper guy.
Did you recognize him from anything? Because there's only one movie I remembered him from.
No,
Anyone? Do you have any idea?
I can't remember.
He was the Tinkerer in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He worked for Michael Keaton. He was the guy that was like putting together the Vulture's little like gizmos and stuff that he had in that.
I've
movie.
never seen it.
You haven't
Me
seen
neither.
Spider-Man: Homecoming? Okay, that's who that was. But yeah, Pete did a great job.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Who's yours?
Pete Anderson.
Pete Anderson.
I sincerely believe he would have sex with a snowbank.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was real intense.
Nice. Look, I went with Michaela Watkins as Trish. I thought she was
Oh, yeah.
fully dialed in
For sure.
to Banana Town. Just from the minute she stepped on screen, fully committed to being a wackadoo.
Yeah. And she somehow
The whole
got
time.
more intense, more crazy as the movie
Scarier.
went on.
Yes.
Right.
She almost was like the monster of the movie.
Her
Right.
death was great.
It was
Yeah.
fantastic. So that was who my vote was for. Who do you have, Farrell?
That's a tough one. I like your Michaela Watkins argument because
Yeah.
she really is that when they describe her as, in Stephen King's own, whatever.
That's right. I
Cecily
forgot
said.
about that. Yes.
The introduction.
She is a Stephen King
And
character.
Stephen King's own Trish.
That's right.
What'd you say? I said Beaverfield's Trish.
Yeah. Queen. Yeah. Beaverfield's Queen Trish.
Oh, yeah,
right.
that was it. Yeah. I don't know. Like Michaela Watkins, that's a good one. I like Glenn Fisher as Emerson.
Yeah.
As Emerson Flint. I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
As
He's great.
not as like the raw intensity or
No.
the crazy intensity, but he played that undercurrent of like,
Yes.
I really don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
And he, with doing very little, he
Yes.
conveyed that.
By doing which is something that I think Will Patton does very well.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like in
It's true.
Gone in 60 Seconds and
Yeah.
such. So I think I'm leaning towards Glenn Flesher.
All right.
As
Yeah.
Emerson Flint.
That's
There
a
was-
good vote.
There's no question
Yeah.
that he would kill
Yeah.
someone without hesitating.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
at
fully
all.
believed in 10 seconds he was going to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Who you got, Mueller?
Well, I was down to a few too. I mean, Michaela Watkins just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Creepy Pete played it well. I'm gonna go with Farrell here and go with Flint.
All right.
I think he was
that
just,
works.
He was kind of my initial gut
Yep.
feeling. I'm still gonna stick with him. I think
Lots
he was
of lots
very
of choices.
intense. Yeah.
That's a fair choice.
Fair enough. Let's head to our patrons. So we got Mr. Matt Mulholland playing with us, and he also
Matt.
went, or no, actually not Flint. He went with Finn, our park ranger.
Oh.
Okay.
He said, I liked his character and even his awkward moments you felt. So I feel like he gave it a really good effort. So he gave it to, what was the actor's name again?
Sam Richardson.
Sam Richardson.
Yeah.
Thank you. I already tossed that first page. So that's a vote for Sam Richardson. Rebecca is joining us today. Back again. Your cousin's with us.
Yeah.
So she went with Sarah Burns, who played Gwen, and
There you
her
go.
electric guitar gets a secondary honorable mention.
She was intense.
Good one too.
And then Ranger Hicks is joining us.
Here we
and
go.
Ranger Hicks went with Glenn Flesher as Emerson
There we
Flint,
go. There it is.
who will
Ranger Hicks.
ultimately win the Will Patton
go.
Award. In his reasoning here, he says there were a few red herrings in this movie, as any good mystery should have. But the moment you see Flint on screen, you know this man could be a viable threat.
Yeah.
I loved his line, I don't recognize your job, that stupid uniform, or the government you work for, and the way he delivered it was perfect.
Yeah.
Easily the most tuned in actor in this cast. So, yeah, just kind of what we were just saying.
Yeah.
We'll give it up to Glenn Flesher, but also, yeah, Pete was great. So was Trish. So many good performances.
Even Harvey Guillen as Joaquin. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
More than he
100
usually does in movies.
110% on him too.
He does. He always does a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next award we give out is one you want to avoid winning if it's all possible. It's our Steven Seagal Trash Can Filled with Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
That's right. That's right, Steven. You tell him. Preach it, brother. This was a hard one, guys.
Wasn't it?
It was hard.
Was it?
I think it was.
Was it really?
The doctor? What?
As a general level, okay? I mean, I have a pick. I mean, I'll pick somebody, okay? But
twist my arm about it.
compared to like where we have these movies where I'm like, anyone you can say and you're not
sure.
wrong.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
The
No, I
general
think this one has
level.
an actual answer. This one
Yeah.
has a right answer.
Okay, well, there you go. Who you
And
got?
there was only like 12 people.
That's what I was just gonna say.
small
There's
cast.
only like 12 people in this movie, so
Yeah, I do even count Dave, who just got jawsed in the
Right.
beginning,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Technically, there's 15 people in the cast, but I didn't count.
Yeah. We're
But
gonna
who's
go,
counting?
We're going to
I
go with the
didn't-
doctor.
Dr. Ellis.
Yeah, Dr. Ellis.
Yeah, I'm going right there with you, man. Dr. Ellis was a block of wood.
That could have been the intent. That this was going to be this goofy, oddball, weird doctor that doesn't want social interaction, blah, 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 2021. Sure, absolutely. That could have been the intent. But from the energy of everybody else on the cast, that was... I mean, it was definitely a stark contrast, but it literally plays to me like just not doing a lot.
I cared about everybody else, even the people that I thought were jerks. I still cared.
Yeah.
I couldn't have cared less what happened to Dr. Ellis.
Yep.
Not at all. All right, who you got?
Dr. Ellis.
Dr. Ellis. For the same reasons or anything else you want to say about how terrible she is?
I don't want to have to make you cut more stuff, so I'll tell you.
You just didn't like her computer.
That's
what it was.
That wasn't it.
You
It was her
said you-
I have a
scientific,
theory about her, but I'm not allowed to use these
her
theories anymore.
scientific gizmos.
Yes, it was offensive to me that she had a database of all animals.
When she's there to look at plants.
Yeah, and she's like, I've got these teeny marine batteries on my desk, and this is how I'm powering my laptop.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
For like a day.
I'm used to working in the woods. I got these batteries. We're good.
Yeah, right. Who you got? Don't feel the pressure. You don't have to go the same
pick whoever
way.
you want.
Pick whoever you want.
The problem is that Rebecca Henderson, who played Dr. Ellis,
Yeah.
is easily the worst performance in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But once again, questioning intent, she still played like the block of wood in the sense of, was the doctor, like you said,
Supposed
meant
to be that.
just like this awkward block of wood character? Like when
Right.
I still feel like you can do something with it though to make it stand out a little more.
You can be very bland without being an absolute
and
piece of burnt toast.
I agree with that.
I mean, look at the guy from you watch What We Do in Shadows, the emotional vampire in that show.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as bland as bland can be, and he's incredible
Yeah.
in that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's like I feel like Rebecca Henderson's gonna be the unanimous decision in the sense of she is the block of wood character. But
Right.
I wouldn't go so far to call her a trash can full of dirt.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm saying like I'd call her the block of wood or I'd call her a burnt piece of toast. But
All right.
to lump her in with Steven Seagal.
You gotta plant your
in
flag.
This
That's
movie,
how
you're
this
right.
goes.
This is harsh in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Mueller, who you got?
You know, I'm gonna give honorable mention to Devin. I mean, he was just pretty much
Oh, yeah.
useless,
Yeah,
but
He was on
he
my
was just
list.
he was just like he was the appendix of the cast. Basically, they could have cut him out and he would have been fine.
There was like Joaquin. He was there for Joaquin to say things too.
Yeah.
Basically,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
No
that-
carbs.
I did like the we're not millionaires.
Right.
yeah.
That was a good exchange. That's
And
right.
Cheyenne Jackson, who plays Devin, like he's been a character actor for 20 plus
sure.
years.
No, he's a great.
And
He's great. He's great.
But you're right, though. Once again, like in this movie,
Did less.
he did a lot less than from. I mean, I could recognize Cheyenne Jackson from a lot of different things.
For sure.
Right.
And
Ultimately-
in this movie, he was
Yeah.
forgettable.
Ultimately, I'm going with Dr. Ellis. So
Okay, that's 5 for 5. Matt Mulholland also went Dr. Ellis, said she was weird but didn't give a solid performance. Literally anyone else could have done this part. I agree. Ryan, I think you could have played Dr.
I think I
Ellis.
would have had time.
You've never been in a movie.
I would have had
or
a
a
hard
woman.
time playing that.
or what? Yeah,
Would-
or a woman.
I literally,
I hear you.
I couldn't play that awkward.
I've never disagreed harder, and no offense to you, Rebecca, because we love having you on here when you do your awards. I've never disagreed harder with a nomination here. She went with Michaela Watkins as Trish for her
No.
trash can
No
full
way.
of dirt.
No way.
She cannot.
All right,
Maybe she
what
doesn't
is-
realize that you cannot like somebody and still respect their performance.
Maybe she just hated the
Well-
character.
Yeah.
I can say though, when I first saw it, because I saw it once last night and then I watched it again today.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, she did come off as it was less nuanced. Like when I first watched it, so she comes off as just hysterical the entire time, which is kind of hard to like differentiate. Where it's like if you're just always seem like you're at a 10,
Right.
So maybe that's part of it.
I thought she actually got calmer as the movie went, but scarier
But
at the same
scarier.
time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So did she have a reason?
No, she just named her nominee.
That's all she did was just like
It's fair to use to put a nomination out there though.
No, for sure. I like I said, love when you.
I
have a hard disagree.
Give a shout out to my blood. you know?
Hard disagree. You got to get her back. I respect that.
I get it. You don't want stuffing thrown at you at Thanksgiving.
As Vin Diesel would say, that's family, man.
This is family.
This is family.
Wow.
Ranger Hicks said, look, this was actually a hard movie to give a trash can to. Not because the acting was good. Ancients, no. He says ancients, no. But because of the majority of the acting was a bit mediocre at worst. I was constantly shifting between Pete, Trisha, and Dr. Ellis, but in the end, I feel Rebecca Henderson as Dr. Ellis really sealed it for me.
Yeah.
Her acting was just flat, emotionless, practically robotic to the point that it would not have surprised me if they checked Dr. Ellis's body after she died and found a synth component like we're playing.
This woman's actually been dead for 50 years.
Right. She seriously gives Lance Hendrickson as Bishop a run for his money.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Ranger Hicks. Come on, man.
I love it. I would never harm a human.
Dr. Ellis was actually a bot.
So she was a fembot. She had machine gun javelins.
Yeah. How did I miss those?
As a writer, I would say that instead of Dr. Ellis, have a trash can. How does he word? Oh, Cecily throws out Wheeler's orders in. Oh, instead of Dr. Ellis, have a trash can, and then Cecily throws out Wheeler's orders in the trash can full of dirt to go speak to Flint, and he finds it immediately a better movie. I get it. Because it designates that Cecily was a crappy mail carrier the entire time. It could even be played for laughs, like have Cecily say, "Oh, haha, I threw that out," and then when you bring it back at the end, when she is withholding the packages, the viewer's like, "Oh wow, I could have realized this at the start."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, but ultimately, Dr. Ellis, congratulations. You are our trash can full of dirt recipients. Way to go, Rebecca Henderson. The proudest moment of your professional career. We're back to giving positive awards. This next award is the Unsung Hero Award, named after Steve James. Our Steve James Award goes to the non-lead character who made the movie better just by being in it, or even maybe was so good they should have been the main character. So who are our nominees for Unsung Hero?
I forget his name because I'm terrible with names,
That's right.
as we all know. The douchey boyfriend of the mechanic.
Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
This is George Basil.
George Basil.
Yep.
George Basil.
Yep.
All right.
Hit it.
Who you got?
I had Marcus.
I also had Marcus.
Yeah. I just wanted so much more of him.
Yeah.
Him and
I mean,
I like
toss-up.
Emerson, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Toss up because I was going to go
Yeah.
Sarah Burns as Gwen.
Yeah. Or
Dude,
package them together.
That
Whatever.
couple,
The couple.
right.
That couple absolutely needs a spin-off
Like
movie.
a spin-off,
Like,
a spin-off
we
prequel.
need to see. We need to see the year before this
Right.
when they break the truck. I want to
Gwen
see
and
the
Marcus.
story.
The story
her
of Gwen
taking
and
it apart
Marcus
and
would
seeing
be
that needs a
something.
starter and an injector.
Yeah, I was going to bring them in as a package, Marcus
perfect.
and Gwen.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needed more of them.
I could have seriously watched kill everybody else in those two
Off into the sunset.
off into the sunset would have
Yeah.
been incredible.
That would have been it. Like if it was just these two bumbling tweakers
Yeah.
that were like, oh, there's werewolves. I don't
One of them
know.
was the werewolf. If
Yeah.
it was like tweaky werewolves.
And
Yeah, the
Marcus just
tweakers
like,
would be
well, I'm a
like-
part-time werewolf, and
Gwen's the real werewolf.
Oh, he should have fought Cecily with the Freddy glove. That would have been
That would
great.
have been great.
yeah.
All right.
Did he just? How did he die?
he got backed over by a
Got backed
truck.
over by a
Gwen
truck.
backs into
I'm
him with
sorry.
the truck. Yeah.
That's such a sad part. I did not want him to get back.
No, I was like sad when that happened.
The fact that she killed him is even worse.
Yeah.
Matt Mulholland went Gwen for backing over her irritating, methed out boyfriend, whatever, husband, whatever he is. That guy should have gotten it worse, to be honest. Oh, Matt, not a fan.
Matt.
Not a
Matt
fan
Mulholland,
of
not a fan.
Marcus.
Oof.
Hey, but hey, you gave it to Gwen. I respect it. We're just putting them in tier together. So I
Right.
Yeah.
take that as a winning vote there. Rebecca went with Glenn Fisher as Emerson as the unsung hero, which is another great vote because
Yeah.
he's only in like 3 scenes.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
was awesome in all of them.
But was
so-
actually the hero.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Ranger Hicks said, there's a reason I might have left this out of my original submissions. He originally forgot to send me a Steve James. He said, every cast member has enough screen time that not a single one of them is really a minor character. And I think in return, it's kind of hard to do it. So I'm going to go the easy route and give it to Glenn Flesher yet again as Emerson Flint.
Nice.
Give me my legitimate werewolf movie where a reclusive anti-government mountain man is forced to go toe-to-toe with a pack of werewolves. Maybe give it the tagline, to kill a monster, you must become a monster. Hey, that's a good one. I'd see it.
He should just
Yeah.
go write that.
Yeah, just go ahead and go write it, man.
I will say I would have appreciated if the lady who wrote who wrote the script. You say?
Misha Wolf.
That's it. Thank
Okay.
you. Her last name is Wolf.
Her last name is Wolf.
So if she
With two
could have
Fs.
spelled it properly, since this literally was werewolf, because there was no frickin' wolf through almost all the movie.
Oh, you're right. And it's plural. It's werewolves.
yeah. I just
Werewolves Within,
Right.
because it's alluding to the werewolves inside of all of us.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's deep.
Come on, guys.
It's far
I-
deeper than I'm concerned.
I really enjoy actual werewolf movies, and that was part of the reason why I was so disappointed when I watched this.
Gotcha.
I can agree with that in a way. Yeah.
So even though Emerson Flint gets 2 votes, ultimately Gwen and Marcus, the power couple of this movie, are going to win the Unsung Hero Award. So congratulations to the two of them. Woohoo! We love it. I want to say Rebecca did give out a Thomas Technical Achievement Award.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
We made the Thomas Technical
Yes.
Achievement Award.
We did. Well, it's there for people to give out when they want to. It's not
Excellent.
an all the time thing.
Excellent.
So, the Thomas Technical Achievement she gave to Constantine Sekereris and Louis Zakarian, the special effects makeup werewolf design people, because she really loved the makeup effects and the design for the werewolf in this movie. So she wanted to give that out to them. So kudos to them. I thought outside of the fact that like it was too small.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the werewolf looked fine. It looked great.
Right.
Yeah.
No problem with that at all.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah, just not as like
Wolfy.
like the lichens from Underworld or anything like that.
No,
Right.
no. But I think this is the part you could slot in Arnold Schwarzenegger straight into this movie. Because what if when Cecily turns into the werewolf, it's just
Arnold.
Arnie
Yeah.
They perfect.
in the werewolf like makeup?
Yeah.
But he's just the body for it. You know what I'm saying?
So he could look like the Van Helsing werewolf.
But yes.
Yeah.
But
Right.
he still sounds like like when he's going after Emerson.
to get you.
Or
He's
she
so-
literally she just converts into Arnold like it's her like "Rah!" and then it like cuts
yeah.
to Sam and he's like, "Oh." And then it cuts back and it's Arnold.
And then the transformation.
Not even a werewolf, just Arnold with a cigar.
Arnold
Yeah.
Arnold in werewolf garb.
Aren't you glad you didn't kiss me now? Because now you're not going to like it.
I didn't even like Walden.
That's right.
I've never read
I never learned to read.
Is that true?
Girls of the fantasy.
That's right. Girls who like ping pong and walking in the snow and whatever other stupid girly things they like aren't real. What's real is this stogie, and I'm going to ram it into your stomach. Get over here. Ow. Ow.
Wow.
It'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
I mean,
would've been.
the obvious thing is make him Flint, right? The
Yeah.
mountain man, the big,
Yeah.
giant, scary mountain man.
Right.
I think that would be good. But
No,
at
the
this-
super nice guy.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
what if
he could do
what
that.
if they
Balls.
emasculated Arnold?
Scream
and
balls,
made
do that.
James.
There's nothing wrong with being a nice guy.
And the whole beginning, he's listening to a tape about how to be tough.
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah.
Balls.
Tell me that wouldn't be the most genius move of his career
That would be pretty
to
hilarious.
play a softie.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty. And he's bumbling over
Yeah.
himself. And
Yeah.
He answers the phone
on.
for his ex-girlfriend when he's
right.
about to. Yeah.
The monologue about being nice.
Oh,
Imagine that delivered by Arnold.
What if he was Marcus?
It's okay to be nice.
Make Arnold Marcus.
Marcus.
Oh my God.
I'll see you. I hope you dildos get eaten by wolves.
That's right. I'm a part-time werewolf.
Gwen tries to back over him, and the truck just stops and crumples.
It just bees. It does the content.
What are you doing? You're going to mess
Yeah.
up my knife hand. I mean, I think at his age in 2021, you got to make him Sam Parker, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because he's used to be the Republican governor of California, and he's got his
Right,
cigar,
right.
and he can
Yeah.
come in and hunt them and all that
easily
stuff.
do that
Could
role.
easily have done.
Except
Sam
he would
Parker.
kill them all immediately. Is the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I busted in the door and she killed herself when she saw me. Like, well, that tracks. That makes sense. Awesome,
I get
dude.
that.
What were some of your favorite things, guys, as you look through this and you're like, all right, we used to do 3 top actors, and they still can be performances. In fact, in mine, 2 out of the 3 are performances from this movie. But what are let's say some nice things, find the silver lining. Go ahead, Clint.
All right. My 3 favorite things from this movie are the
Yes.
AT&T girl,
Yeah.
the friends, and the family plan.
Wow.
Put them all together, and that's
And
your
then five
That's what I'm
That's top
talking about, dude.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right.
That's for Bob.
I'm going to move on. James is.
I'm ready. You just hit us.
All right. I'd say the motivational speaker in the beginning.
Oh, you liked her?
Yeah.
That whole thing?
The
was
fact
fun.
that it's a woman who
Yes.
sounds like she's about 80
Yeah.
and she's giving a man advice on how to be a man is perfect. The script, I thought, there was really good jokes written into
Yeah.
it. It was hard last night when we watched because there was like 7 of us there.
Yeah, I should say all of you guys got together. I was on a work retreat this weekend, so I
Yeah.
was not able to be there. But
Yes.
y'all watched this with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with a dialogue-driven movie, that's probably a little difficult.
It was.
It threw us off.
Yeah, it was
It
not
threw
the
us
kind
off.
of movie that is as fun to watch as a group because you can't sit there and riff on it. I will say that. But and then the
Clint
first,
tried.
The worse
Yeah.
the movie is, the better in a group.
Great.
yeah, well, like if
Well,
you have
for
stuff,
example, James.
We watched another movie last night. It
We
was
can talk about it now
fantastic.
that we've gotten through this. We were going to do the Howling 2.
yeah,
There's just, every show's got a line. I felt like it was over the line in certain
Yeah.
respects.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we made a last minute shift, but they decided, I think, to watch it anyway.
What we did is we watched Werewolves Within,
yeah.
and then we watched Howling 2.
Well,
Yeah.
you say we. Farrell here says, 15, 20 minutes into this, you'll turn it off. 40 minutes later, he's walking
He's
out
like,
the door.
I gotta go. I didn't
and
think
we're
it'd
like,
last this long.
well, hell, we got to finish
And
this
we're all
now.
like,
Did you
We're
guys
into
finish it? Did you
Yeah,
finish it?
dude.
There you go.
Well, we needed to see the ending credits.
I had spent
That's the only payoff.
Don't watch the ending credits.
don't even
If you're
watch
under a
Howling
certain
2.
age. Don't even watch
Don't even
Howling.
watch Howling 2.
That's Farrell's review right there. Don't watch it.
They had a different version of the Friends and Family plan.
Gosh.
But
All right. Fair
but
enough.
funny enough,
But-
as you were saying, it's like we watched Werewolves Within as a group, and it was like, oh, this isn't like a group riff movie, and then we
Right.
put on Howling 2, and we're all cracking jokes and laughing at each other.
Right.
Yeah, this is a fun movie to watch as a group.
Right.
sure,
It would suck to watch alone for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was your third favorite thing?
Marcus,
Marcus.
Yeah.
just
All
straight
right.
up. Yeah.
There you go.
Straight up Marcus.
Yeah, so I went with 2 performances also. So my top 3 were, and I put 2 together. So maybe it's actually 3 performances because I had Marcus and Gwen at number 3, favorite power couple in the movie. Cecily was number 2, the AT&T girl, and then number 1 I had the dialogue. I'm a sucker for well-written dialogue. So much of what we watch is crap. There were actual memorable lines in this, and yeah, there was some annoying dialogue in the movie for sure, but the stuff that I liked, I really liked, and because I'm personally just a sucker for it, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. My third is basically the entire supporting cast.
Okay.
Save for Dr.
Ellis.
But the entire supporting cast, the way that they riff with each other and the way that they interact, everything about, like, they all took their roles seriously.
Yeah.
Wayne Duvall is Parker Oilman. Like, he got into it when they were pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
Everyone took it seriously. Second, I'm going with Sam Richardson as, well, more or less Finn as the hero, because although, once again, we made fun of it as he's kind of like this emasculated, nice guy hero who's like, his whole thing about, like, what's wrong with trying to be nice? Like,
Right.
I love that aspect of it's like, that's actually pretty cool that we didn't get a cigar chomping, shotgun wielding hero here to kill werewolves. It's just like this. What's wrong with being a nice guy? Like,
I love
just
the
work
fact
for
that
the
they-
park service.
I love the fact that they beat him down so much about it that they finally pissed him off.
Yes.
And his retort to being pissed off is, it's okay to be nice. He wasn't even, he was pissed off
Yeah,
about trying to say,
yeah.
it's okay for me to be
Exactly.
nice. Like, that
He
was
stayed and he didn't change his character. He stayed, he stayed that way.
So definitely shout out, because, I mean, as far as performances, he was, good.
Good. Yeah.
But overshadowed by the supporting cast, but as a character,
Okay.
number 2. And then number 1, Mishna Wolf, like you said. Great screenplay based on a game that has nothing to do with the movie other than the scenario of the whodunit.
Who's the werewolf?
Who's the werewolf.
Right.
But with the way that it, and yeah, we glossed over all the social commentary of the movie.
Right.
But like, it's funny enough to watch in 2021 and look at it
And
all.
if you don't like
she
that
didn't-
stuff, you can ignore it.
Right. Because it's not beating you over the head necessarily.
And it's not germane to the plot.
It's there, there, but it doesn't like point fingers necessarily. Like, it kind of just, pokes fun at everybody.
Right.
And I like that she did that in the screenplay, that she just poked fun at everything.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that's what I'm going with.
Mueller?
Marcus and Gwen, I think just their performance, like I said, needed more of them. I think they brought kind of a rednecky comedic effect to the movie, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'll say some of the visual stuff, right? Because we didn't cover this, but when AT&T girl was doing a countdown at one point, when she ended the countdown, she was in the shocker.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you catch that? Yeah. So just some of those little details, like the toe tap of when she became a werewolf. I thought some of those little details were good in the movie.
That's good stuff.
And then I think kind of, number 1 overall, I think I'm just going to kind of go with what Farrell said a little bit, right? I think it was the dialogue was very snappy. There was times I think, as we were watching together, we all kind of chuckled at some of the stuff, which isn't the case in a lot of what we watch. So there's I think it
Not when they
decently written, decently written dialogue, and you could tell it was actually someone that wrote books, right? Because there was actually some sort of character development as well.
Yeah, funny on purpose is a rare thing for this show.
Yeah.
It's really rare for this show. It's usually funny on accident.
Yeah.
Here's what the patrons had to say. So Matt Mulholland went with Finn at number 3. Our main character gets a vote there for you. Sam at number 2, and then Cecily at number 1 was his favorite in the movie. Rebecca said number 3 when Pete said that he bit his own hand off was one of her favorites.
Great.
It was a funny moment. Said it made her laugh. She get the inn at number 2. Also, my wife, when we watched it, she's like, that place is beautiful. So the inn gets number 2 vote.
It'd be a great place to stay. Totally
Definitely.
stay there.
And number 1 was the special effects makeup. Rebecca really liked how they did that stuff at the end, so that gets her number 1
She's
vote.
really, on that Thomas.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
Ranger Hicks said, all right, number 3. So Werewolves Within is a social deduction game on PlayStation VR. And I definitely would say that the overall mood and feel of the story is akin to the game that it was clearly inspired after, especially instances where everyone is pointing fingers at each other except Pete, obviously, and yelling. In reality, the werewolf actually only killed 2 people and a dog in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone else died because of their own ineptitude, which is akin to most social deduction games. And that's exactly how you win these games: instill doubt, fear, and paranoia, and let everybody kill each other off.
Right.
And so that was the fact that they included that aspect in this was one of his favorite things. Number 2, Miliana Van Trub, the AT&T girl, to say something more profound about this. Oh no, he says she's like a hotter version of Ellie Kemper. Did you guys ever watch The Office?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Did you not like that comparison?
I mean, I don't see it.
Okay.
Ellie Kemper's a rail.
So she said, well, I know, but I get what you're saying.
Come on.
You probably expect me to say something more profound about this, but that's pretty much it. I thought she was cute and funny, which is what totally distracted me from the fact that she was a villain the entire time. If you want to fight me, well, fight me. Oh, he thinks he's going to get people that didn't like her? I think everybody liked her in this.
She was good.
And
she did
number
good.
1, Ranger Finn.
I'm going to fight him over trying to defend that. Like, you just say that statement.
That's what he's going to get fought over.
We're gonna get him a CD of the How to Be a Man.
Balls. Ranger Hicks, say balls.
That's, jeez. Balls. All right, he goes, look, I'm going Ranger Finn, number 1. I got to back my fellow Ranger.
There you go.
There you go.
Honestly, this movie is really dependent on the driving force of the main character, and I really think he does a good job at it. Even if he has crappy trigger discipline, he's constantly trying.
We did all
I called that out. When he was sleeping with his finger on the trigger, I was like, you're going to wake up with the ears bleeding because you're going to accidentally pull the trigger.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was bad. So good catch there, Hicks. He says he's constantly trying to find the best, or he's constantly trying to his best to be the voice of reason. There's always one guy like this in every game of Werewolf. And his final monologue of "You're mocking me for being nice" was far too relatable and hit too close to home. I felt that personally. So yeah, I'm giving him my 1 spot. Easily my favorite thing about this movie. So thanks, guys. Yeah, great votes for sure. Ultimately, guys, we have to come to. Oh, I should say, because we got to the Arnold thing early. What they said about Arnold, Matt was like, yeah. Imagine him as Sam Parker, decked out in hunter gear, or even as Emerson Flint, full-on Grizzly Adams. I think those are 2 easy spots to put him.
Yeah. Sure.
And Hicks says, considering the most capable person in the movie is Sam Parker, I say recast Arnold there. Have him chase people around with a crossbow, or considering the man still has the power, he's just out there using a compound bow.
Yes.
Maybe crack a joke about how he stole it from Rambo. Also, in the scene where Dr. Ellis dies, instead of being a gunshot, just have it be that her head is just gone, and people are like, Mr. Parker, why is Dr. Ellis' head crushed? As if she shot herself.
She did it to herself.
Compound bow. Arnold will use a straight up long bow.
Yeah,
you don't need a compound bow.
He uses like 6 branches together.
Why is Dr. Ellis' head crushed as if she shot herself, and Arnold just yells, "I did nothing!" Maybe have a scene where the werewolf bled on the snow and Parker says, "If it bleeds, we can kill it."
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? They stole from Jaws.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, time for our final ratings here. We have to ultimately come to a decision, marrying, or in this case, separating the objective and the subjective, right? Is it a good movie or a bad movie, and did we like it? Is it a bad movie that rules, or, as Ryan likes to say sometimes, it's a good movie that sucks, objectively, subjectively.
Are we allowed to say that?
Oh,
That's part of my.
I said that as a joke, but I said that as a joke. But if you really want to,
just curious.
I'll throat chop you afterwards.
You know
Yeah,
what?
go ahead.
You know what,
Clint has
James?
it in the
Let's
Rolodex.
just open the door.
No,
Let's just open the
we're
door.
not opening that.
We have a 16-step chart.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead, bust the Rolodex open.
I think legitimately on this one. This one's easy.
Okay.
I think IMDb got it wrong. There's no way this is a 6. 86% and 80%.
Yeah.
Those are correct. This movie
wow.
is too damn good to be on this show. The acting was decent. The cinematography of it, the filmography of it was decent. The script was decent. There's only one actor, and again, like we said, may have been the choice or the direction told to go for that character. I could see that.
Yeah.
But legitimately, loved it. This was a good movie. It doesn't deserve to be on the show.
All right. Strong take, Clint. I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me last night, I would have said that it's a good movie that sucks.
Okay.
But
You're like, oh, is that an option? Is that an option?
but I did watch it again today,
Yep.
and I think having a different environment where I could actually focus on the dialogue, I will say it's a good movie, but it's like a good movie. I don't want to say bad movie that rules because I wouldn't say the movie rules. And
Good
it's
doesn't
not a
mean
bad
great
movie.
or fantastic.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
checks the box.
All right.
I guess.
You look like you're ready to say something. Go ahead.
It's just a matter of that it's a good movie that deserved more than it had. In a sense of $6.5 million for this. Okay, I get it's a really conservative budget from Ubisoft actually produced it. So I don't blame necessarily the low budget on the material, but it's like this is a screenplay that deserved to have $30 million at its disposal. And it deserved to
have a name.
Play in the summer of 2021.
Which had it had a name, it would have.
Right. And had it even had a name. And even with honestly, you could have a movie without a name though, and it could still
make money.
It could still blow up.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, Sam Richardson has a following somewhere.
No, but look,
I don't know what
it's
it
the
is.
timing that this came out in.
Yeah, look at all the $10 million stuff we've seen. This is way better than a lot of that $10 million stuff. And it's $6.5 million. When you originally said it, I was like, well, this thing made money.
Yeah, you would think.
Any time other than a global pandemic,
right.
I guess that's what
this comes out in 2019 or now.
Yeah.
Quite different story.
Yeah, this thing makes money.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So for me, it's like this movie screams that it's a victim of the circumstance of the times of 2021. And by all probability, should have had more money, should have had at least one name for box office draw, should have had a May or a June release date in more than 270 theaters.
Right.
I don't know
all of that.
You put AT&T girl's picture on the box
but
and
even
that shirt, people are going to see that movie.
AT&T girl has
with the AT&T girl.
Yes, that's she is the name. AT&T girl has a huge following.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
I didn't hear about this movie until after I watched the other one we weren't going to do.
I got you.
Yeah.
So when we say good movie that sucks, it's
is that what you're saying?
Good movie. It's a good movie that is decent.
Okay.
And it's just a missed opportunity where it is a good movie that could have been better.
Okay, fair enough. Mueller, where you at on it?
Definitely does not fall in a bad movie category.
Okay.
So I'll throw that one out. On the scale, you've got a constipated dog, right? And you know this, you're following it around, and you're like, every time it's squatting in the house, you quickly throw it outside, only it doesn't go, stays constipated. Finally, you have to take it to the vet to get it an enema.
Oh, jeez.
Right. So, and then you take your dog back home, goes outside, you get 2 rabbit pellets, man. It left me, kind of to Ryan's point, left me wanting more. If that's budgetary, probably deserves some more. I mean, it was kind of fun to watch. Once you get to dialogue, you're able to pick apart that a little bit. I mean, I guess from an objective standpoint, I'll put it on kind of like what Mattila said. It's like a movie.
Okay.
Right. Kind of on the edge. It's,
All right.
I don't want to say it's anything with a bad movie that rose, because I think legitimately it's a good movie.
Right.
But I think there's more that could have went on, or more that I should say went into it.
Yeah.
That's a fair take. Look, I know nothing about this movie coming into it. Again, it was suggested to us, so I didn't go to this one to pick it for any specific reason other than it was the next werewolf movie we had when we were going to do a werewolf movie.
Right.
Usually we just have these random draws. So, but I will say this, I'm happy that I picked it because I hope if nothing else, this gets more people to see the movie because clearly it snuck in so far under the radar that almost no one I've talked to even knows about it
Right.
or that it exists because it just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer for the filmmakers, for the actors who might have gotten a big bump from being in this movie and been on to do other bigger, better things. And I think like you take Miliana as a perfect example. She's kind of struggled to break out of the indie film thing. She's doing her commercial stuff, obviously, but like maybe this could have been a big vehicle for her at the right time that lifted her into other things.
She directs. She even directs the AT&T commercials.
I know
too.
she does the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's very talented and she was great. So look, I think this is a straight up good movie. It's not perfect. There are, annoyances with the movie in that there is some political messaging that you either like or you don't like on either side, and that's fine. You can easily, at least for me, I've learned to brush that stuff aside.
And I think they played both sides of it.
And
So
I think half of it was humorous too.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff you don't necessarily agree with.
I'm just saying it to get out there because it is what it is. And so you that's up to you and your level of taste for that stuff. But you move all that aside. I think the guts of the movie are very good. The dialogue is good. It's funny. It's enjoyable. It's not like going to be like, oh, I got to watch this every Halloween kind of movie, but it's definitely worth more people should see it.
Every 3 years.
Every 3 years it comes
They're
on,
like,
whatever, we're on Hulu. That's where it's at right now if you guys want to try and go see it. Good movie. Good job to the writers. Good job to the cast. The cast killed it. A lot of like, not no names, but like a lot of almost names.
Right.
People that have been working for a long time that you go, how do I know them?
Yeah, you recognize them.
Right.
yeah, there's a few recognizable faces in it for sure.
Let's see what the patrons.
all a working class cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, and I'll leave it after this. But the thing that I don't like is when something's sold as something that it's not. And this movie, like the poster, like everything, it felt like it was going to be an actual werewolf movie.
Yeah.
And even in like Amazon, I went back and checked like how Amazon taglines it, and it says like ominous, terror, suspense, and then comedy. And you're like, it's none of those except for comedy.
It's not a
comedy to
horror.
the front.
It's a comedy whodunit.
Yeah.
Right. With
It's
horror
Clue.
tones.
Yeah.
It's Clue.
It's
That's
Clue
a good
with a
way to put
werewolf.
it. Yep.
Yeah. And so I just don't like that piece of it. That's I think that's the biggest problem I had was it's sold as something different.
You're right. It was misadvertised.
Yeah.
I agree.
So Matt Mulholland said, look, I've actually seen this movie a couple years ago. Matt was one of the people in 2021 that saw the movie. I said the ads for it make it look funnier than it is, but overall, it's a good movie. It's solid, fun watch that gives you a few twists. And while the final reveal isn't a surprise, they definitely try to make you think otherwise. There's a few things to make you question why, but it doesn't hurt the movie. The worst thing about is the werewolf reveal. So many shows and movies get the werewolf look wrong, and this one looks like Buffy the Vampire TV show on a low budget. So as much as Rebecca loved it, Matt hates it as much on that side of things. And so so many shows get that wrong. Anyway, he says, ultimately, still a good movie, though. So a positive vote from Matt Mulholland. We appreciate your take there, bud. Rebecca, I didn't like this movie. I wouldn't watch it again.
Nice. Wow.
The whole thing was kind of mediocre. I had a really hard time finding 3 favorite things because there was just so many things I didn't like in this movie. So
But she liked the special effects.
she liked the special effects.
I think
but
that
she's
was like
saying
grasping for something.
straight up bad movie from
Nice.
Rebecca.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bit of
I was
She's been
surprised.
wrong the whole day. Got it. All right.
That's your family, man. You're going to just let him do that to your family?
Yeah, because he agrees with me. He's being nice to her, but he agrees with me.
No,
He's just being a nice guy.
yeah. I think
Nothing wrong with him being nice, James.
I think it's an easy movie not to like.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Like, because I'm not saying like, I have to say it's a good movie for the
He hated
objective
it last
piece of
night
it.
when we left.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
subjectively, it's not my thing.
last night we talked about it too, like at first impression, right? And after we'd watched the Howling 2, where that was about the same length, and we're like, that snapped along. Where
Yeah.
we were like, oh, this one seemed like it dragged along a little
Oh,
bit.
I never felt like it was dragging.
I was like, is this movie done yet? And it was 30 minutes in. But
I think you were just done with me talking about it.
I think so. Because you were like, 5G coverage.
Here's what Ranger Hicks said. And he drops a movie in here that I actually think is underrated too. I hardly have as much time to think about this as I usually do. And I'm used to looking at this from every angle and putting it all together. I think maybe the biggest gripe I can feel someone say is the werewolf design is crabby. It's like he anticipated what Matt Mulholland was going to say and knew it. But this was inspired from a video game, and that is actually what the werewolves look like in the game. See, he actually played the game and knows.
But the game is from 99, so...
There's a PlayStation VR version of it that's out now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe others can say, but Werewolves Within as a game is in a medieval fantasy setting, and this one is not. It's literally the next line that he just wrote here. I say it's close enough, but they at least put some thought into this movie, and they caught the overall feel of a social deduction game. It was hardly a cash grab, and so it was shot well. No shaky cam nonsense. It usually comes with scary movies. Maybe the huge gripe I have is this is barely a werewolf movie.
Yes.
He's
Correct.
not written that 3 weeks or 3 days ago.
He just wrote it now.
That is a magic piece of paper. He's on the other side of this poster, and he is putting it on there as you read it.
Now, this is where he drops the other movie I think is underrated. Tell me if you guys have seen this. This is like a less scary movie like The Howling and a more of a psychological thriller like Identity. Did you guys ever see the movie Identity?
No. Identity with John Cusack?
Yes.
And Amanda Peet?
Yes.
And Ray Liotta?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I've seen
And
that?
John C. McGinley?
Yes.
Directed by James Mangold?
Yes.
Never heard. That's where you say never heard of it. No.
Came out in April of 2003?
Yeah, it was right before Daredevil.
Wow.
I feel like I've seen that, but I don't.
Never saw it.
I don't
a long
know.
time
Never
ago.
saw. Get out.
Go watch Identity, guys. It's a great whodunit. It
Yeah.
doesn't take itself seriously at times. However, I was promised a werewolf movie, and part of me feels this is a werewolf movie, but about as much as a taco salad, it's actually a salad.
That's
Well, it's
fair.
got lettuce.
It's just nachos.
It's in a tortilla bowl.
It's nachos with lettuce.
It's nachos with extra lettuce.
Yeah, they just put the lettuce on the bottom instead of the top, on the top instead of the bottom. Still salad.
However, much how like a taco salad is not actually a salad, that doesn't make it any less delicious. This is a good movie.
Yeah.
I will watch this again, just not because you get, not just because you get a better understanding of what is happening now that you know the ending, something that usually happens in thrillers, but because it's endearing. People actually gave a crap about making this movie, and a lot of work went into it. And I think the fact that it only scored 991,000 at the box office is pretty freaking crappy. It deserved better. That's
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for your thoughts there. And it's a good landing spot, I think, for this. So go and see it if you haven't seen it. Go check out Hulu and go watch Werewolves Within. We're not promising it's going to blow your mind or be the greatest movie you've ever seen.
But even with Halloween coming around, October's coming up. Yeah.
Throw it in the rotation. You won't be disappointed.
Better than Hubie Halloween.
Now you shut your mouth.
Oh.
Hubie Halloween is a masterpiece of acting, of cinema, of filmmaking.
What is it?
It's a movie that stars Adam Sandler like a giant man-child riding his bike around.
Sounds
during
terrible.
Another
Am I wrong?
another straight to Netflix Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah. Okay. Hubie Halloween. Go see it. It teams
don't
him
want
back
to.
up with the girl he got with in Happy Gilmore. She's this.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So worth it. All right. Let's talk for a second about next week because, man, am I excited for next week.
Oh, are you really?
We've got a little figurine up here we've just added to the front of our table who everything now on our table, we've skimmed it down a little bit, is from movies we've actually discussed or are about to. And there's a little Ashley Williams figure here on the front of it. And better known maybe as Ash Williams from Army of Darkness and Evil Dead, played by Bruce Campbell. Mr. Chainsaw Hand with his boomstick over here. We're doing Evil Dead 2 next week, you guys. And I'm so freaking pumped for this because I love, and I'll just say it now, I love Evil Dead 2. I also haven't watched it in 10 years, so I'm interested to go back and see it under the microscope, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
even though you don't like horror movies.
I know, but it's not. Is it a horror movie or is it Bruce Campbell
It's more
delivering?
of a horror movie than this was.
Is it more of Bruce Campbell delivering one of the best comedic performances of his career?
Yeah.
Or of the 80s, we even say that.
Really?
Because I liked it. The first time I saw Evil Dead, I'll save that. I'll save my Evil Dead story for Evil Dead next week, but it's going to be fun. You're going to be here.
Yeah.
Charles is going to be here. It's going to be a great time talking about Evil Dead. You ever seen Evil Dead 2?
Negative.
All right. I know you've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You love it?
I mean, yeah. I'm not like the big Evil Dead
Smack this guy.
franchise fan as most people are. Or like cinemaphiles who are like, yeah, the Evil Dead franchise. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's good. I do like it.
You've also seen like every other movie that's ever been made, though.
Well,
So
I mean, yeah.
Evil Dead fan, have you ever seen it?
I don't think I have. I have
right.
to check it out.
I guess
You
we're doing
don't
a watch
have to
party.
see Evil Dead 1.
We had lights.
No, you do have to see Evil Dead 1.
You do not have to see Evil
don't.
Dead 1.
They're
You
the same
absolutely
thing.
need to
Okay.
see the
Same
Evil
thing.
Dead
Let me rephrase it.
because Evil Dead 2 is the same movie.
You should see Evil Dead 1. Good movie.
Yeah.
It's worth watching.
Yes.
To go sit together and before this episode and watch Evil Dead 2, you don't have to have seen Evil Dead 1
Okay,
yeah.
to
right,
get Evil
right.
Dead 2. Because it's basically, that was good. Here's more money. Make it again.
Exactly.
Yep.
Remake of the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay, but they still, for some unknown reason, put the number 2 on it. I don't know why, but we're starting with that one.
Okay.
And then maybe someday it's sequel Army of Darkness, which is a damn masterpiece.
I can say that is the silver lining out of this. If we'd have done Howling 2, I was so dead scared. There's like 14 of those pieces of crap.
Nice.
Yes. And the first one's too good. We had to start with 2.
The first one is too good. The first one is like a cult 80s classic.
Maybe on his show on the horror movie.
Yep, probably. You know what's interesting is that 4, 5, and 6 have the highest ratings on IMDb.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
Normally, once you get too far into the sequels, they go worse, but they're so low to
Not
start
so
with that they
with
go back up.
Tremors.
Well, before we start talking more about the Howling, we are going to sign off. So we just want to say on behalf of Clint Busch and Dr. Mattila, the Mayor Ryan Mueller, and Ryan Farrell, I'm James Hauser. Thank you for listening. We never figured out which one of us is the werewolf.
Albeit,
I mean,
oh,
he was licking his chops over here.
I mean,
every
I ate
single
my own hand.
Have you seen me with my shirt off?
Oh, if we're going by that, then it's me. I don't know. Oh
I
man,
guess
oh,
I'm in
man.
the clear.
I can't do the toe thing though. That's something I can't. Each individual.
Stephanie can do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Prove it. Prove it. Don't send videos to Clint.
It's one of the reasons I married her.
Okay.
You married her because she allowed it to happen.
That's also true. She was the only one that said yes. So, you know.